Hello, everyone. It feels like it's been forever since the last time we were on. I am Dan and joined by Tessa, the freshly moved into a new house Tessa. And I wanted some like witty banter, like because we're Team Blue and Gold. I'm a Blue Beetle fan. She's a Booster Gold fan, and I wanted like a Team Rocket entrance, like it just something stupid that I was thinking about. It's that Fire Guy Ryan guy.
Oh my goodness, he's here early? He's just here because he wants to see who he put in my Instagram chat.
Oh, so we're joined by my friend and former book club co-host, Gambit. And hello, Gambit. Freshly back from Puerto Rico Comic-Con.
Yeah. Yes.
So how was it?
It was amazing. It was a great show. It's the first time that we have Saturday and Sunday sell out completely.
Dang.
Yeah. It was really good.
I saw that.
We all did, but we pretended not to.
So how did it feel blowing all of your earnings on Ariel Olivetti?
Let me tell you. It actually felt good. If they weren't that expensive. I at least I say that to myself, to try to that I try to.
I've done the bargaining many times.
Try not to think about how much I spent on those two pieces of art. But now that I have it up on the wall, I'm like, yeah. I'm thinking about now finding another artist that had worked on that series and getting another one, because now I want to try to get at least one page from. This is a very ambitious. Thinking, but I'll pay 64 issues.
So the comic dealer that I got your page from, I could give you the link because he's got a bunch more pages from different artists from the run.
Internet problem?
A little bit.
Yeah, it's me. Damn it. Let me just connect my phone so that. There you go. Bam. Let's see if that works. So send me his link so I can check it out.
Yeah, I'll send it later. So for those who don't know, Gambit's a huge Lobo fan, and I might have helped his addiction for his birthday / Christmas. I bought him a Philomenez page from the run before Philomenez was popular.
Yeah. But when he was baby Philomenez.
So Gambit collects that art. I usually Kitty Pryde original art I collect, and Zatanna.
How many pieces of original art do you have?
So I have a lot of commissions, but I don't have a lot of art pages. Weirdly, my 1 or 2 art pages are from Bloodstrike from Extreme Studios. My friend.
That is such a random page to have. It's like super random.
My friend was the artist.
I know. No, it's cool that you have it. I think that is so random that makes it that gives it that little bit more of coolness to it, because you have something that I'm pretty sure not many people have on their walls.
Yeah, more unique niche item.
Yeah.
So I spent an ungodly amount of money on art prints lately. I got a Sideshow Studios, one of their the fine art prints.
Yes.
So it's this giant Zatanna one by Jay Anacleto that I fell in love with, and then I posted the pictures, and Tessa was like, oh my god. And then I got a Tula Lotte Death print.
Swoon Tula Lotte. She's on my list to talk about tonight.
She's on mine too.
Good.
So I've bought some stuff. I know, Tessa, you were in the middle of moving and you picked up some stuff, and let's just get to a subject of moving as a collector fucking sucks.
Oh my god.
Yeah, moving as a collector and then having a full-time job. And I also made the foolish choice to try and sell stuff while I was moving rather than before or after.
Oh, you're on the floor like, I built a chair today during my auction stream. Also, Gambit, she has an X-Men collection she's building all prior to your run that you built.
Nice.
What X-Men are you working on?
Right now I'm working on getting on finishing my own Uncanny X-Men. I'm down to like maybe I'm trying to look for the app while I speak, and I can't do both things at the same time. So I'm trying to at least make it from 94 all the way up to 544. I think it is that it ends. So I have nonstop. Oh my god! Of course it's not ready because I never am. So right now I'm like down to like maybe 100 issues left. I think less because I have from like 102 to 544 nonstop.
Dang.
Yeah. But I find them.
Yeah, you're working on exactly the opposite of me because I'm working on 1 through 141, like before the title changes to Uncanny.
Yeah. Nice. I'm trying to get everything from the moment that we get the modern X-Men, from Giant Size X-Men. That's my grail. That's the one that I want to. I saw one the other day. I saw one the other day at a few months ago at Famous Faces, the store that I go to. They had one there for like 3 weeks. It was like $1,800. I was like, oh my god.
That's honestly on the lower end for a giant size.
Yeah, I know. And it was in good condition too. I kind of regret not getting it. Usually I don't want to talk about that. I'm sad now.
The funny thing, the Dazzler issue was the harder one for you to find that I ended up getting for you. Like,
yes, for some reason I couldn't find that issue anywhere. So weird.
Her first appearance?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's gotten way more expensive recently. I had no idea.
So I bought it slabbed, and it was cheaper slabbed than it was raw, which was insane. And I think I got you like a 9.2 or a 9.4.
Yeah,
That's not that great. That's a dark cover too.
Yeah. It was a really good grade too. Yeah, and it's the only reason I haven't opened it yet. If it was a lower grade, I would have been like, guys, I love you, thank you for the gift, but I'm gonna open this bitch,
Yeah, I plan on freaking nerds out and like reading my X-Men like when they're actual issues.
Put on the rubber gloves and the tweezers.
Absolutely not. Gloves are usually bad for comics. People don't realize that.
But you have to read them. Those books are meant to be read and appreciated.
Yo, 50 is one of my. Oh, that says 59, not 50. I'm blind. No, 49 is amazing. I love that Polaris stuff. That's exactly that era of X-Men.
I found a giant print, an oversized poster-sized print of the first Polaris cover.
Oh, yeah?
The one you kind of love. Like, there's a site that has a big cover of it.
Oh man,
blown up into a poster.
So yeah, I have issues. I have issues 1, 19, 27, 28, 30, 36, 47, 49, 51. I've some assorted there, and then I have 94. No, sorry, 84. And then I go to 98 to 100, 103, 106 to 18. Oh my God, Alistair, please! I'm trying to talk to you.
I thought it was Dan's cat. Okay.
No, that's my cat.
No, mine doesn't really talk.
And then I have
staring menacingly
from 110 to 544 nonstop. Yeah, I'm pretty close to it, but everything that's left, it's like the expensive part.
I'm waiting for Tessa to go, well, I happen to have all those at my store. Let me get it with you later.
I mean, yeah, if you're looking for specific X-Men, DM me, and my store probably has a decent amount of them.
Okay.
I'm working on the opposite bit, so
I am definitely gonna message you when we're done here.
I have almost everything 2 through 50. I'm missing 33 and maybe 34.
Oh my God!
And then I'm missing like a few random ones.
Those I have
I gotta focus on work. We're too distracting. We're too,
Yes.
Yeah, we're too much.
Too high energy.
Yeah, it's actually because Ryan just really loves X-Men, so this is a big distraction for him. He reads books. Yeah. He's dying.
Fellow X-Men fan, love it.
So I'll show it now.
Yes, that was.
So this was the Art Germ book, and it's something I normally wouldn't buy.
Is that Punchline?
Yes, it is. It's a 4-color foil.
Wow, I'm usually not into foils, but that's stunning.
It's a really nice one. Like, honestly, it's better than it deserves to be for such a mid character.
For such a mid character, you said?
God, her entrance into it kind of sucked. Just like, you're the joke, I'm the punchline.
Yeah, I remember. And,
that. I picked up 2 Grails to finish my collection. I've had this one for a bit, but I don't show it off. It's Deadly Class #1. Double signed by Rick Remender and Wes Craig. And the one that I finally found someone who had one not in the UK charging $30 to ship. The Forbidden Planet Phil Noto Deadly Class cover.
Oh, that's really awesome.
Which the light's really killing it, but I adore Phil Noto so much, and I've been chasing this book for a long fucking time. So someone in the US had it, and they're like, I did not an insult bid, but they had it. And I was like, how about like 75? He goes, yeah. How about 80? And I was like, cool, sounds great. So it was a very hard bid there. But I actually really like that Punchline cover. I saw it and I'm like, yeah, that's actually really nice.
You know, I like just read that stuff, and I'm really surprised with how much I loved Ghostmaker. And I liked Conflict. I thought I was going to hate them, and it was kind of sitting there like, I'm kind of really into them, especially like Ghostmaker and Harley together.
Well, did you read the Ghostmaker? It's basically Batman and him is younger. I think it's called Night. And you don't know it's Ghostmaker till the very end. But it's them training.
It wasn't him. But yeah, I haven't finished that series yet. I had it on my playlist. I just haven't read the last 3 issues. I have a tiny stack of new things I can show off.
Let me put you in solo. Yeah.
Oh, hi. Oh, goodness. I was not prepared for that at all. Okay, so I had this set aside for a while. I have copies of it. I'm just really big into them. But I have the other one, too. So they go together.
I only have the one cover of it. I don't have the other one, but I still have it.
This first appearance of Animal Man. Clean, but it's going to be a really fun project. I really love Animal Man. I have his hardcover somewhere behind me for the Grant Morrison run. I grabbed a first Black Panther.
Wow.
At least for what I could afford of a Black Panther.
What's the spine like on it?
It's not bad, but I can realign it.
Okay, because most of the spines I've seen of them are always kind of rolled.
Yeah, that's not a hard fix at all, especially since it's not brittle or anything. The main defect is a minor amount of chipping over here.
Yeah.
There's a little crease here, but it's not bad at all. I feel like it presents really strongly. I'm really excited about this guy because I never see him. But I got Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen #1.
But no one cares about Jimmy Olsen.
That's fine.
I saw the Comic Queen post.
Oh, I didn't see that. And then for my birthday, someone got me this one of my missing X-Men books. This is 13. I got a 12 for Christmas and I got a 13 for my birthday, so it's very exciting.
Birthday present.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's my little stack. I did go to a con recently, but that's in a pile to take a video of later.
I haven't gotten anything new. No, lies. I have the Animal Man omnibus from the one by Jeff Lemire.
Jeff Lemire.
That was a decent run.
Yeah, I like that one. It pairs nicely with the Swamp Thing from the New 52.
Oh God, that's probably my New 52 title. Yeah, I got my Grant Morrison boys.
Ah, sweet. Yeah, I haven't read anything. No, I started reading the King Conan books a few weeks ago, and I fell asleep, so I haven't finished it.
So I was hoping Tessa's package was going to be there today for her to get angry at me.
I'll take a video when it comes in. I'll post about it.
It's going to be there tomorrow.
Should I just push the stream back?
I'll be at work tomorrow till 10-ish. And I'm going to see Evil Dead Saturday. Till you're done.
Do you want to do we can do a 2 for a live stream if you want. We can just go live on Instagram or something like that.
Oh, maybe.
That's a good idea.
I know we're doing Gotham Central Saturday night.
I'm so excited to watch that.
It's supposed to be the movie stream, but Carlito didn't watch any of the movies, so we just turned it into a Gotham Central stream.
I have a Gotham Central Omni up here too.
I got the irregular trades. Reading the Omnis, I love having them, but they're so hard to sit and read.
Yeah.
Especially if you like to lay down.
I haven't even opened that. I just wanted it on my shelf because I didn't like the old hardcovers.
That's
but that one did have a Middleton cover. I thought about it.
I get them because they're I get them on sale, because otherwise I wouldn't buy a book so big. It's impossible to take to the bathroom to read. No.
I mean, if you get them on sale though, it's easily the cheapest way to read stuff. If you think about how many issues you're getting, you get them for half price. Oh my god.
Yes. Yeah, that's when I get them when they're on sale or something like that.
Yeah, it's usually like 38 books for like $50 or something.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a great deal when you get them half price like that.
Let me read the chat, but I agree with you.
Well, if you're agreeing with John, you're wrong, just in general.
Oh wow.
Hi, John.
In almost all cases, indefinitely. I know John went to MegaCon, and I did not go to see him in Orlando because I was working, but he picked up a ton of stuff.
You were so close. That just means you didn't want to see John.
I mostly didn't want to see Tony Old Wolf, but no. I would have loved to hang out with them, but it just didn't happen. But I did get to participate in John's 2K stream that became a drunken mess by the end after Perry Comics came on, and Old Wolf, Rod the Rican, and Comic Man Andy telling dad jokes.
That's my jam.
Real bad dad jokes, like my wife got me.
It's there, Dad.
Huh?
You're making a mess over there.
Yes. Like he had my wife got me a Rolex. I put it outside, and now it's the neighborhood watch. Those kind of dad jokes.
I thought you were saying something about your wife. I was like, you have a
No.
wife. And I had
It's like,
I was
what
so
wife?
just like, that's why I stopped. I was like, I guess you never explicitly said you didn't have one, but
I forgot to tell you, I'm Mormon, and like I've got a couple. I just every time I
You're a
lose one, I
collector.
gain one. Yeah, yeah. Very eclectic collector. Bad girlfriends. Wow.
No, stop it. No, don't do that.
Ones who have Gambit tattoo my favorite comics on. Yeah, those are the weird ones.
yeah, but I think he brings that up every single time I speak to him.
Right?
I think it's still
Maybe
fresh.
every other. Oh no, someone brought it up at work the other day. They're like, "Hey, what are your tattoos from?" And I'm like, "Really? Come on." So
Right.
as we were saying, moving as a collector, it sucks. I remember my stepdad tapping out when we were moving from my apartment to my house because he's like, "How are all these long boxes in your house?" And I was like,
This is why
"They're
short boxes are
furniture."
superior.
27 of them, I think we had to move out from upstairs to downstairs, and then to my new house upstairs.
I thought I had a lot when I counted 10 last time. I changed all of them to smaller boxes.
That's the way to go.
Yep. Small boxes and the plastic ones too. Okay.
That's why I moved to the plastic now.
The only good side is that I pretty much only own books. Like, see behind me, I got comics. Over here, I got books. Like, all I own is books. So, like, it was like, all right, cool. This one thing is annoying to move, but at least I don't own anything else. Like,
It's true. You didn't even have a chair. You're like,
I moved in everything before the books, and I started moving at like 5 p.m. and I was done by like 8 with everything. And I was like, all moved in. And I was like, all right, I gotta get the books.
Wow. I hate moving. Don't remind me.
I really like moving until now, where I just feel like I keep ending up with like, oh yeah, there's like one more box or just like one more pile of stuff. But it's been like that for the last 3 days. Like I just keep finding like another little thing and a few other like just piles. Like
oh, there's another pile of books in that corner. God damn it.
Yeah, right now it's like beforehand it was like, oh, I don't mind carrying things, and it was like kind of cathartic to go through all my items or whatever. And now it's just like, all right, I just want to be done. Like this is nothing.
8 videos back to back. Fuck me. I can't even think about doing that.
That's
like
I
don't have it in
a bunch
me.
ready to go now. I have one getting published tomorrow, and so I have like all of mine ready for like the next two months or so. So,
Ayo Perry, what's up, man? So Gambit, one of the things I asked you on because you had a bunch of Kickstarter books campaigns going live right now.
Yes, so
live already.
They were live. They have been successfully funded, all 3 of them. So
nice.
Yesterday, so woo-hoo. Yeah, I was part of 3 different campaigns. I was part of the Tales of the Collective book. It's an anthology horror book from the store The Collective in Altamont Springs. And then I had No Contest issue number 2. I did a cover for that second issue. That's the book published by the fighting lawyer. I'm not making this up. It's a lawyer down in Melbourne that He's also an MMA fighter, and he's doing a comic book about his life. Obviously, there's some fiction to it, but
I just
it's
picture the commercials. I'll win this case or beat your ass. I'm fighting for you.
And then the other project that I had was that was up that I was part of is called Salvation in Stereo. And I not only did I did art for a poster and a t-shirt. I also it's going to be my first published work as a writer.
Oh,
And it's
nice.
about how music that change musical experiences that change our life, or unique experiences. So I wrote for my blog a couple of years ago, not a couple of years ago, it was like actually 1 year
Last
ago.
year.
Yeah, my experience when I went to Colorado to meet Papa Mary from Ghost, and he liked the article, so it's included in the book. And so it's my first art and writer credit. And I finished editing the book for Chica Cabra too. So
Yes.
Obviously, investors should grab that though, because it's your first writing credit. So
yes, and Chica Cabra, when it comes out, it's gonna be my first editing credit too. So there you go, bam!
So
I
I'm
made
gonna
it,
tell you,
Mom.
Tessa, if you get the chance to read Chicacabra from Boom Studios, I think you'll really like it. It's a
Yeah.
girl who's having a horrible home life who is possessed by the Chupacabra, and they become besties. But it's like a family drama, and it's kind of heartbreaking. And weirdly, we had the writer / artist in our chat while we were discussing it.
all right.
And he was kind of talking about what he went through with it, and like Gambit was his fact checker for stuff about Puerto Rico, and kind of like, hey, is this a word you use?
Yeah.
So,
For this one too, there's a lot of Puerto Rican slang and lingo that translates well, but it needs to be put in the proper context for it to work well, And I help him out with that, and just making sure, spotting some little details here that when you're so close to your project, you tend to miss a bunch of stuff because you've seen it all the time. So you're so familiar with it that you miss things, and it's good to have a fresh pair of eyes. So I was that fresh pair of eyes for him, and I'm not only honored, thrilled that I got to read this book in advance and see this project, help this project come to completion.
it was one of those books, like Gambit already read it and he picked it for our book club, and Jen and I had never read it. So like we were getting ready to go. I was like, so Jen, what did you think? She goes, man. And she started, like scratching her head. I was like, uh-oh. She goes, I fucking loved it. Like more than I should have. And because it was just the book, like if you look at the art on it, you're like, I don't know. Like it's very cartoony.
Yes.
But then when you get into like, it's one of the books where like, don't judge it by the art, judge it by the context of the writing. And the writing is so fucking heartbreaking. And there's something I appreciate when you can read the emotion on the faces of a character. And I think that's such a lost art of being able to emote through art. Because we went through the 90s of like just blank, everybody looked the same face.
Everybody looked mean like this, like
mean, and all the girls had the like porn star face of like
exactly like that.
I'm surprised.
Yes.
Everything looked like Blue Steel and Magnum from Zoolander.
Yeah. I hate the 90s. That's not true. I love the 90s. There's a lot of good stuff out from. I mean, in comic books, there's a lot of good stuff from the 90s. You know that. You know what? What now that you're mentioning, don't judge a book by its art. That happened to me with Bone. I did not. I did not want to read Bone because I didn't like the cartoony style, especially that's like, I don't want to read this. And my friend was like, no, you need to sit down and you need to read this. Like, you need to read this. And I read it and it changed everything for me because it changed the way I appreciated comics after that, And his work, I've told him a couple of times, his name is Tom Beelan. I've told him a couple of times that his work reminds me of Smith a lot, and he says that it's a huge influence on his work, and you can kind of see it in some of his panels, especially when you see the chupacabra chica moving around from panel to panel. The way he moves it, you can see that same style of movement from the Bone Issues. It's just beautiful.
Runaways by Brian K. Vaughan was another book where I looked at the art and you're like, I don't know, man, this looks like it's for kids.
It's extremely early 2000s.
Yeah, and I just remember then I sat down and started reading and I was like, oh fuck, this is great.
I read that for the first time recently and I adored it.
Scott Hazelwood on those member berries. I remember the 90s.
I've still never read Bone though.
What?
It's
a really good
adorable.
book. Yeah, it's a really good book.
In a world where we had the Max that adult potheads loved, then there was Bone, which people who just wanted this wholesome ass book.
They used to sell it at book fairs and stuff. Yeah, I've definitely seen it around.
Scholastic bought it of all fucking things.
Yeah.
Because my friend's son at a Scholastic book fair came home with it. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, they have. Are they the ones who publish the color versions of
yes.
Yeah. I love both versions. I love the black and white version. It's just beautiful. But they did good with the color versions too. That's the version that I have, the colored one.
I've only really seen the black and white ones, and it seems like it might lose something with color.
Color makes it pop a little bit more.
It works. They actually made it work. It looks really pretty, But I suggest that when you read it, if you can read there's a compendium, the omnibus one, you can find it. You can find it anywhere.
It's the size of the saga one.
Yeah. It's really big, but it's legit a really good read, a really, really good read.
And also, if you want dank Dune memes and wrestling, follow Scott on Instagram. Oh yes, him and I are both I'm a more of a closet wrestling fan. He's way out of the closet wrestling fan. But he's part of my Dune webcast that I do with Jen. We're on a hiatus for about a year now, but the next book, it spans 3,000 years, so we needed a break. So we weirdly got on the subject of artists that maybe we didn't appreciate at first, so this segues nicely into a segment we were talking about of artists we love and we feel maybe don't get the attention they deserve or a little underappreciated or people should check out.
So I put out a little question sticker on Instagram, which for the record I do that a bunch before shows, so you can kind of weigh in on the show. And I got a lot of really good ones, but I also got a lot of people saying some of the biggest names in comics, which I found very funny. Which true, I don't think any comic artists are as known as they should be. People outside of this industry don't really know them. But people said things like Jack Kirby, John Byrne, really, really big names. It was just yeah, but
yeah, those are names that I feel given their lengthy career, their how much they were active in the industry. Well, first of all, they will never be known outside of the industry some artists are known now, because back then it wasn't the same. It wasn't as popular as it is now. Now we find comics. Dude, I saw Mouse at a Walmart in Puerto Rico, of all places.
That's awesome.
What? Now we find them everywhere. So I feel those big names that are known in the industry, that have all the love because we know who they are, shouldn't be included in a list like this.
I just need that Jack Kirby draw poster just on the dollar bill.
That's what I was saying, though. You're right. They're definitely not as well known as they should be, but I think within our circle, they're pretty known.
Yes, within our circles, it's we all know those names.
So Scott, while he's in the chat, I want to bring up one of the names he brought up. Bilquis Evely, who did the Superman Woman of Tomorrow. Also, honestly, she did the alternate cover that was the Barnes & Noble exclusive. That was fucking amazing.
Yeah,
I don't know that.
You see didn't they do a Sandman cover for Barnes & Noble that was amazing?
With that, she did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
super into it. I keep looking at it.
Yeah, I just I ever since I stopped working at Barnes and Noble 7 years ago when my store closed, I just can't bring myself to spend my money there.
I do prefer to buy at like smaller businesses when I can.
Yeah. So Bilquist Evely, that is a good name. Of course, getting way more attention now that the Supergirl woman movie is going to be made and Tom King's source is being used.
Tom King's
Best
what?
in the biz. Ooh.
I think their colorist goes very well with them.
Yes. I'm weirdly in the
Who is
Daniel
this?
Warren Johnson might be one of the best storytellers right now. As a writer / artist, I and it's the weird thing of like total creator versus, artist, but Daniel Warren Johnson's kind of killing it right now. And for anybody who has not seen it, go look up the commission that he did of Namor fucking a sea monster.
No, he was fucking on a monster. Don't
A
be a
giant
ridiculous fan.
Squid with the Invisible Woman's costume floating in the air. But it looks like he's doing the O face right in the squid's mouth. Just saying. And we're right back in the gutter. So
That was fast.
the last episode, we had another person who had a Kickstarter. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Daniel Warren Johnson, like, Gambit, did you read Do a Power Bomb?
I have not. I have
Murder
the first
Falcon.
2 issues, but I haven't.
I didn't read
haven't-
Murder Falcon. John kept talking about Murder Falcon. I still haven't taken the plunge. But Beta Ray Bill was one of my favorite books.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. Yes, Beta Ray Bill was amazing. That was a really good book.
So one of our other viewers, followers, I feel like this is a bit of a hot take. Spiders Comics put David Mazzucchelli, that he's overshadowed by Frank Miller on everything he's done.
That's true.
Yes, I totally agree.
I would
totally
say
agree.
Klaus Janson
Into
too.
his art. The fact that he colors his own stuff, and when it goes into a new format, he recolors it to match the type of like paper and ink that they use is like astounding.
Because it says he wrote Mazzucchelli. Miller gets all the love on Reborn in year one, but Maz's pre-Miller work is awesome. I think he was instrumental in the myth of Miller, as was Klaus Janson. And then we get Ronin.
Yeah,
And that's a swipe. I get it. Like I 100% get it.
But I agree. He gets overshadowed. It's true. It's true.
And I know Gambit, you had a comment on yours for.
Yes, I have someone comment. Someone mentioned Bernard Chang, and I agree. He doesn't get as much love as he should. I like how clean his work is.
Yes,
and
Chang's line work is
yeah,
very, very clean.
Phenomenal. And the other one that got mentioned was Simon Beasley. He's known for doing Lobo. Those first few miniseries and a bunch of the covers are done by Simon Beasley.
Also, Grendel Warchild.
I have the Lobo tattoo that I have on my leg. I'm not gonna lift my leg because I'm not that agile. But the Lobo tattoo that I have on my leg, it's
You're not trying anymore, damn it, Gambit.
It's a Simon Beasley cover.
Oh, someone's a fan.
Yes. Beasley is a really, really good artist, and I feel like he doesn't get as much love as he should.
So he did Grendel Warchild. I want to say he was the artist on Judge Dredd versus Batman.
I think so. Yes. If I'm not mistaken, yes. Yeah. I like his painting style more than his panels on. I mean, although his comic book work on those first Lobo series was phenomenal. I like his painting stuff more than his ink.
I know Ryan's probably looking at this comment in the chat and like screaming. I remember he doesn't like Lobo. So I honestly I don't know if Lobo would be a good movie. I'd rather him be like a weird TV series where he just keeps going from planet to planet fucking shit up.
Oh, I think okay, so this is my pitch for having Lobo on a TV series. You have a Green Lantern TV series, right? And you have Jon Stewart and a guest Green Lantern every once in a while that he's helping with a case, and it's like space cops, like a cop show, right? And one of their cases, the introduction to Lobo is one of their cases. They have to go to this planet because there's this dude making a mess, and it's when they get there, it's Lobo. They find Lobo at a bar with everybody knocked down and heads over the places, trying to get his next bounty, and they're like, finally you guys are here, and gives him the bounties. I did your job for you, and it just walks away, and they have to fix this dude's mess to get his bounty. Expect to be paid or some shit like that, being as obnoxious and loudmouth that he is. That's it. And now you have him come regularly into this Green Lantern series as a guest character. You have every few episodes you have him because he's the bounty hunter. See? Bam,
I'll be
HBO.
honest, I feel like I've enjoyed Lobo the most when he's opposite Superman, because I really like the dichotomy of this loudmouth, crude motorcycle boy
Against
with
the boy.
So like Superman the animated series, and then there was like a random Superman animated movie on HBO or whatever. But I really liked that push and pull that they had, and I feel like that was a really good way to introduce him, because I'm someone who's like, yeah, Lobo's fine. But anytime,
Well, of course, with Hellboy, Ron Perlman doing the voice of Lobo in it.
Which one was that, in the animated series or?
Yep.
Oh yeah, that was really good. I was sitting there like,
Yeah.
dang, okay, maybe I kind of like Lobo right now.
Yeah. The recent movie, but the Superman movie, Superman Man of Tomorrow movie that came out I think a year ago, was a really good one, with Ben Hurst as the voice of Lobo.
And I love that.
Yes, it was a really good one.
That's what
And
I'm
I feel like he's a cool character, but he works best in short bursts. Like a mini series of 4 or 5 issues, and a one shot here and there, a guest spot in whatever book, as a secondary, character, than trying to give, because there's so much wacky shit you can do before you start to get like, what else are we going to do with this character? So I think that in bursts like that, like a miniseries here, one shot there, and
I take a holiday special at this point if they if they did the Christmas, the paramilitary Christmas, just as a one-shot special on HBO Max.
Oh yeah, that would be.
I'd be all about it.
Yes. Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, I think he, like, in a narrative, plays well with others because he doesn't play well with others, and it makes it interesting. So I think if he was like one of the characters that just went around the universe, fucked around on Superman a little while, went to Wonder Woman, and like you know what I mean, just like popped around in the DC universe, and then had like a holiday special, like that would be sick. That would make people.
So he'd be like Stan Lee, just in a weirder way.
Yes. Wow. Yes. Logo cameras everywhere. Ryan's screaming. If he could hear this, he'd just be crying.
I remember years ago there was like this weird rumor that Nathan Fillion was going to be Blue Beetle and Owen Wilson was going to be Booster Gold. This is like years and years ago, and I was like, "Fuck!" Like, I would watch the shit out of that just because of how weird. Like Owen Wilson back then is like Booster Gold would have been, and this is like probably Zoolander era, so he was like full Hansel.
Yeah, it would have worked.
You call him full handsome?
Full Hansel.
Oh, I thought you were like, and then he was full handsome, not half handsome. He was full handsome.
No. All right. Matthew McConaughey as Blue Beetle.
Wow.
I'm Ted Cord. All right. What do y'all?
I want Zac Efron to be Booster Gold.
Oh, so that would work now. Like, ooh.
I only mean now, yeah, but like I think he's very good. Like I think he's got himbo vibes.
They're rocking Zac Efron as Blue Beetle and Booster Gold.
No, I don't want to see anything by The Rock right now. I'm kind of mad at The Rock right now.
Ooh, spill your rock tea.
As much as I love him, no, just all the bullshit that you keep reading about.
The Black Adam stuff.
All of the Black Adam stuff. Like, man, we could have gotten so much, such way more cooler stuff, but.
Full handsome.
Oh no, that's becoming a thing now.
I'll start doing that in videos and stuff. I'll start calling things full handsome.
It's full handsome. I like that. That's it. You lost that time. It's ours now.
So, what were some of your other ones, Tessa, that you got in your
Mm.
messages?
You waited exactly until I locked it. Rude.
I'm sorry.
I got like a dozen good ones, honestly.
It's only half handsome now.
Yeah, you're half handsome. You can work on it now.
All right, well.
So someone said Ben Flythe or here. Said Jose Garcia Lopez, which I feel like is extremely accurate because of how much they've done within the industry.
Yeah, and he's one that, like, if you aren't in the know, you don't know him.
Even like knowing comics, I didn't know him for a long time. Like,
so Gail Simone went out of her way to make sure on her run on Wonder Woman that he got to do work on it because she always wanted to work with him.
That was amazing.
And she also made sure that there was a little bit for George Perez, there was a little bit for Filomenes, which I will say Filomenes is one of those great artists that maybe he just doesn't work enough at this point.
I think,
like, you know him, but you don't really see a lot of his work.
That's true.
Well, I think one of the last things he did was like Wonder Woman Astoria, and he said that took him multiple years because it was so intensive. So,
and you know, he put pages up for sale, and they weren't that expensive.
Really?
$400.
Are you kidding me? What?
Buy that? What?
Nah,
I'm not fucking kidding. No, he put up multiple pages up for sale. Like, and they're pretty like intense pages.
Anything in that book was intense. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He has created the staple of this entire universe that has made an astronomical amount of money that I can't possibly fathom just because of him. Like, so yeah, I think that person wins because no matter what, like all the other ones are like, wow, I really like this artist. And you're right, they're not talked about enough, but that one is like a crime. So you're correct.
Yeah.
And there's artists that worked on iconic books that got buried. And I'll fucking go right to town right away. Dave Cockrum got fucked.
Oh, yeah.
Because John Byrne went out of his way to fucking take swipes at him after he took over the book, which John Byrne also did this to George Perez when he took over Avengers, immediately going, I fucking hate Wonder Man's costume. I don't like
Dave
this
Cockrum
Christmas
is like my
bullshit.
favorite X-Men artist.
He's so underappreciated. And there's a couple of other X-Men artists that I don't think Paul Smith.
Agree.
Really good.
Yeah.
Really fucking good. And then the God Loves Man Kills, Brent Anderson, who did Astro City, really good. But you don't really hear about it except for like Astro City. Like, it's kind of forgotten artists because all of a sudden you had, you know, the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, where it's like, well, fuck, here comes, you know, Jim Lee, here comes Mark Silvestri, Whilce Portacio, like X-Men artists, Joe Madeira, like it was just a mountain.
It was that era of cross hatching everybody wanted to look like Jim Lee. I remember that. I wanted to be like Jim Lee. I wanted to draw like him.
John Byrne. I like John Byrne's writing, and I hate that I do because I really like his Bronze Age stuff. But man, that dude sucks. So I'm just not gonna buy any more of his like new stuff until he's dead and he doesn't get the money. He's so bad, dude. We have a joke at my work where we say John Byrne wants to fuck kids. Like, so whenever anyone's talking about
God,
it doesn't matter. He wants to fuck kids. He has compared like transgenderism and being gay to being a pedophile. He's like, well, yeah, if you guys do that, then it's okay if I fuck kids. Like, no,
wait,
that's not okay, actually. That's not okay.
He did say that.
He has blogs where he says
he has a blog
2 decades and just nobody cares.
So Eric Larson for years has reblogged shit that there's literally a John Byrne Says Twitter account that just posts stuff that John Byrne has said.
Somebody DM me that, so I remember to go check that out. My God.
Oh God, it's fucking horrible. Like, it posts every horrible thing. We can probably
make like a drinking game out of that sometime if you want.
We had the Rob Liefeld drinking game at one point because he kept coming up constantly on the show and was like, drink. Drink
for any Rob Liefeld mention? Okay.
Yeah. So yes, Jim Aparo, good artist. I don't know if I consider him great, but I feel like he's like
important.
He's like the oh my god, why am I blanking on his name? The artist for Ultimate Spider-Man,
Mark Bagley.
Bagley.
Mark Bagley, where he's just consistently on time, good. But because
Jim
he's
Farrell
so
kind of changed the
consistent,
concept of Batman. He was like important, even if it's not a style I necessarily cared about.
so I remember Norm Brayfogle was for me because he's the one who did like the crazy bad eyes everywhere, and just he used the costume as a weird form of emotion to emote, and I kind of dug that. And he had an interesting style I liked. Are there any other classic artists on that list? Because I feel
actually the same person also said Norm Brayfogle. And John
awesome.
Byrne. So Ben, I'm like mad that I like the John Byrne stuff because like I really adore his like Bronze Avengers and stuff. Yeah, well, I'll buy the Omnis when you're dead and you don't get the money. It's fine. Like,
So I was at the San Diego Comic-Con for Ender's Game, and it was after Orson Scott Card said all that horrible shit about gay people.
What's Ender's Game? I'm sorry, is that a comic?
It's a sci-fi novel. Sorry, but the people who made the movie go, we already paid him. He's not going to make another dime off this, so don't buy the book. We don't care. And I was just like, wow, that's wow.
I like the statement. Just so you know, he's not making anything. All right.
Yeah. I mean, he's been.
I feel like it's exactly what you want him to be.
It's
like he's consistent.
Been tattooing for a few years, and you're so used to that. You're at this point. There's nothing that he can do that will wow you. You know, you just like it. You just like it for who he is and what he's done. Because at this point, there's no way. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that because there's still ways that he can still wow us at some point. Be like, wow, and you'd be like, holy shit, this is amazing. You know.
I have to say, like,
happened before.
Phil Jimenez Historia.
Yeah, exactly. Great example. You're right.
Dramatically different it looked, and maybe it was the digital coloring and everything, but I was just like, holy shit, like either his style really changed or it was just so intricate.
Well, there were 4 artists that did that first issue.
I only saw him listed in the first issue, and then, but there was each different.
Definitely could be wrong, but I thought at the beginning of the first one they had like a list of credits.
Yeah.
I haven't even listed. The second book was another artist, and then the third book was another artist.
Someone said Trad Moore, which I feel like he's getting more popularity exactly right now. And
which
he
is
also
weird.
Said Greg Smallwood. I've been a huge Greg Smallwood fan forever. I've been grabbing all of his Archie covers, and Human Target, I haven't finished yet because I'm moving, but I think it's going to be like one of my favorite books.
I'm not a huge Tom King fan, and that was really good. Solid.
I am a huge Tom King fan, and I think it's going to make me cry. But that book is beautiful.
No, it was satisfying, but at the same point, it left you wanting more.
Which one, the Human Target?
Yeah.
Is it over?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll buy the trade.
So Trad Moore, I remember
they're both amazing interior artists specifically.
Gambit Jen and I got to interview Steve Orlando, and he was on, and he said Trad Moore is one of the artists that people aren't talking about enough. That was like blowing his mind. And that was right as the Silver Surfer was coming out, which that fucking series melted my brain.
I feel like now that the Doctor Strange book has come out, they're more into him. Mm-hmm. Well, shut up about 4, first off.
All I have as a reprint is just the tribute.
This is a poorly recolored thing, but yeah, dude, his stuff is amazing.
So the guy who owns the comic store by that Gambit used to go to, and I still have to go to, he hates John and Sal Buscema.
Really? I didn't know that.
Personally, or because of their art?
He hates their art.
Oh.
I think it's rude that Phil Jimenez is both a great artist and full handsome.
Right?
He is full handsome.
Yes, that's not fair.
So, I might have talked about this once before. I was at a comic convention. I had worked for a comic store at one point, and the former owner of the store was having lunch, and he's like, "Hey, come on over, sit with us." I was like, "Cool." And they're like, "Hey, what do you think of Phil Jimenez?" And I was like,
"And you said he's full handsome?"
Well, no, he was sitting at the table. I didn't know it was him. So I was like, "Oh, well, I mean, I know you said he was the best Wonder Woman artist since George Perez." And Philomena's like, I
And
started
a
letting
random
him, he goes,
person at the table starts crying and you don't know why.
he's like, you guys really said that? And he had just finished Countdown to Infinite Crisis. And he goes, how do you feel about Blue Beetle? I was like, I love Blue Beetle. He's like, oh. Well, I wrote him in this James Bond type story. And he started telling me about Infinite Crisis before it even published, about how it was a Superman story in it, because I was like, Superman sucks, blah, blah, blah. And
Superman sucks.
I wasn't a huge Superman fan, and then he started explaining why Superman was important. Superman's been good lately. I go through periods like where I really like Superman, and then I think it becomes generic, and people fall into tropes writing him.
I do that a bit with Batman.
Yes. So Philomena, I read a Countdown to Infinite Crisis, and I became fucking furious after they killed Ted Cord.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, it was good, but it was bad. And then, we went through the whole thing of...
Hey, you like Blue Beetle? Let me just break your heart real quick.
But then Booster had that arc during the story. I was like, oh, cool. Like, Booster's getting this arc where he gets to be serious because his best friend just got killed.
Did you read Injustice at all?
I read part of the first. I played the games more than I read the book.
I read the first trade. The first, I think it was the first 12 issues. The first volume, year one, and the first year.
I think it's better than it has any right to be. But there is a really good part with Blue Beetle and Gold that's like 3 issues. You could probably just read that standalone, but it's definitely worth checking out, in my opinion.
I agree that it's way better than it should be. Like,
especially like a web comic that's just like for the game, and it's like, why is this so good? Stupid Tom Taylor.
It's right. It wasn't supposed to be that good. I agree. I was like, I read it. I started reading like, I'm just gonna try. Let's see, whatever,
Oh my god!
And then I finished it. And I was like, wow.
I think Taylor knows the DC universe so intimately that makes me feel stupid. Like somehow he gets every single character so perfectly, and he plays so well with this large cast of characters. It blows my mind. Like that's where I feel like he handles best.
Oh, Gary, George Perez was so masterful on fucking Infinite Earth. God damn, like.
Have you ever seen the videos of him making art and how he just whips out characters? Like,
I watched him do my commissions at the convention.
Yes.
Did you get like? I'm talking about things where it's like a sea of like a lot of people though.
Oh no! Like I watched that, and then I watched Philomena's like describing what it was like doing it, because he talked about on Infinite Crisis the end with all the people he added, where he tried to do George Perez as much as he could, and there was a Justice League he did too.
I mean, if you're gonna copy someone, copy George.
And he said one of the sweetest things, because when Wonder Woman came out, I was at the credits. They mentioned Philomena's, and he goes, "I don't deserve to be in the same credits as George and Jorge." And honestly, I was like,
he said so many things like that, and like my first intro to Phil Jimenez was the New 52 Teen Titans. You know how they used to do those like random variants? Like there was a Wonder Woman one, and he did it, and I grabbed it off the shelf, not reading that title, still haven't read that title, but I was like, this cover is so good, and it was him after Perez. It was just such a great cover.
Yes.
And George treated him like a son.
Yeah.
Because this is a guy who grew up Latino, loving George, and Gambit like had George Perez at his wedding.
Oh yeah.
My main regret is just not meeting George Perez, because like him and Marv Wolfman got me into comics. Without them, I definitely like wouldn't be in any of this.
Right.
George was one of the sweetest individuals I met. Like I'm in line, and he's making sure everybody in line he's talking to, as he's saying, "Hey," like, and he's talking to all the Latin people in Spanish, saying, "Be with you in a minute. Just be patient." I get in line, and he treated me like the most important. And he sees a commission in my arms, and he's like, "Who did that Wonder Girl?" I was like, "Oh, it's Jamie Faye." He goes, "Can you bring him over here?" I was like, "What?" He goes, "Can you bring him over here?" So I went and got the artist. I'm like, "Hey,
George Perez would like to see you now."
He basically, the guy goes,
imagine that.
The guy goes, "It's the end of the day. I'm not in the mood." I'm like, "No, George Perez really sent me over here because he wanted to talk to you about this commission you did for me." And it was literally him going, I brought him over, and George goes, "I really like what you did with the figure here, and the looking in action." And this dude started like almost crying, but honestly, like it's one of those incredible interactions you see at a con that you can only see at a con.
Yeah. One of those moments
Yeah,
that changes lives.
yeah, and you see some so like I saw Bill Sienkiewicz once looking at someone's portfolio, and he never looks at portfolios, and he's just like, hey, I really like this, and the guy is just like fanboying. He's like, oh. But it's Bill Sienkiewicz.
George took a look at my portfolio once. It's the only professional that has ever looked at my portfolio, and I'm afraid to take it to somebody else to have it reviewed, because I know that I don't want to hear what they're gonna say, you know. But George was really he was really good at telling me the things that I needed to hear at that point, to improve my work. Of course, not just, it wasn't anything like this is good just to tell me that this is good because he knew me. It was like, no, you need this, you could do better, this you could do better, this is great, but you can do better here.
Yeah.
And so it was things that I definitely used to improve my work, and it did improve a lot after that.
Just blanketly telling you your stuff is good is nice, but it does you no good. Like,
yeah, exactly.
constructive criticism is where it's at. Also, I love your hair.
Thank you.
Larry Hama apparently was the most brutal reviewer of portfolios because Greg Capullo got so angry at Larry Hama, like he basically out of spite got better.
He might be better than you, like.
Literally, he did it in Larry Hama's voice. The interview, and Neil Adams, when he was on Kevin Smith's show, said that basically Kirby and Simon told him comics are going to be done in a year. Just go find another job in advertising.
Okay.
And that's when they were with, I think, Archie.
And look at that. Where are comics now?
But every year, it's the last year. It's going to fall apart.
Right.
I do
It's
that
gonna
very
burst.
often.
Now it's cool to say that you're a comic book artist.
There is the weird speculator versus collector thing going on.
Oh man, there's
there
a
that I
lot of
find
speculators
fascinating.
out there right now. It's interesting to see, and I hate it.
I mean, also,
hate-
comic sales don't match with the impact they've had on the world like any other medium does. Like, if you think about video games and how many sales they have in general every year or within specific titles, it's astronomical. And then we're such a tiny community, even though I bet you genuinely could not find me anyone who's never heard of Superman or Batman. But I'm sure you've seen some grandmas who don't know what like Grand Theft Auto is. Like, it's baffling to me the
Right?
difference.
Unless they watch Fox News, then they're like, I know it's what those colored people like.
Oh my god.
I'm serious. There was after Grand Theft Auto 3 came out, like Fox News was like, here's random old lady on the street. And she's like, all I watch is Fox News, so I know this is a bad thing.
Wow.
Are you eating gingerbread snaps?
Yeah, I finished my berries and now I'm off my cookies. What about it?
Fuck yeah.
Well, I was between that or they're animal crackers.
Don't be hating. Don't be hating.
It's all about the elephant.
I had
and
a good
animal
night with my friends, Dan.
Shut
You're not being
Wow,
very
you did-
handsome right now.
You're not my keeper, Dad. Gosh.
up, my real dad.
I'd offer you one if you were here.
Ooh. I need the half handsome animal cracker though.
Yeah, half handsome. That's a cracker.
I need the
that's
lion.
All right, guys, been a great night.
This could have been way worse because Jen was thinking about coming on. I sent her the link. She's like, "All right, I get off of work at 5. See what happens." Barry Windsor Smith Conan is very good.
Yes, I agree. His work was amazing in Conan. I have a name for the list. It's Esad Ribic. It's I don't know if I have it pronounced right, but yeah.
Esad Ribic from Thor and
Yeah. He did Thor, and he did some Conan books. He did a Conan book that's silent. It's just his art, and it was amazing. I feel like it's a it's a masterclass in storytelling without any words.
Oh, are you having a beverage, Dan?
It's called Backwoods Bastard, is what it's called. It literally is called Backwoods Bastard.
Oh my god!
So it fits you perfectly.
Ooh. Well, I do have a tattoo from Southern Bastards by Jason Aaron that Gambit did on my neck. It's a tree.
It's a tree.
It is. It's
It's a tree.
It's a tree.
My God. This is how we get in trouble every episode.
Anyway, they also said,
Yes.
Gary, if Gary is here, hi, said Gene Colan, if I'm saying that right.
Yes,
It's
Gene
a very
Colan.
good choice. Yeah.
True.
So also Gene Colan's colorist and inker, fucking phenomenal on Tomb of Dracula.
Tomb of Dracula just kind of holds up. I was surprised.
Really, I've never read Tomb of Dracula. I'm gonna have to read that.
Oh
now.
my God.
I got the Omni so cheap.
Yeah.
So cheap. You can find that one.
I got the Epic collections.
There's some there's like a Bernie Wrightson cover. They have some stunning covers too.
Am I the only one who's missing it? Damn it.
I was trying to get the whole run of that for a while, but
Fuck that, it got too expensive.
I don't really care about Blade, but the first issue was getting kind of really expensive. So that was annoying. But now I might do it because the first issue's cooled down a bit. I really like Double A. He gave me a few good answers here. Lee Weeks is one of my all-time favorite.
Oh yes.
Yes.
I gushed over him when I met him because he was the only person I was nervous to meet. He did this little Daredevil commission for me. And I have one of my most prized possessions is this stunning hardcover for Batman Annual 2, but it's in black and white. So it doesn't have Brett Weiser's colors. It's just Lee Weeks' stunning art. Here. One of the first pages is like one of my favorites here. Yeah, everything is so moody and beautiful, and it's the French hardcover version.
So this is what I was gonna say. Tom Palmer and Vince Coletta were the inkers and colorists for the Tomb of Dracula Gene Colan run.
Yeah, Vince Coletta was not so great with Jack Kirby, but
no. Honestly, Tom Palmer did most of the coloring and inks for most of it. Gene Colan was really good. There is who was it? Oh no.
It's all that backwards bastard getting to you.
Yep.
Backwoods, not backwards. Jesus.
I meant to say.
Oh wow.
So the interesting thing to watch has been Bill Sienkiewicz's art evolution over the years, from Moon Knight to New Mutants, where he got experimental, to how he got later on. I fascinated by it because you look at someone like Jason Sean Alexander now, who does Philadelphia and did the Blackula book, where he's like this bastardized Ashley Wood meets Sienkiewicz. And I love the two mergings of the style, kind of like how David Finch was the love child of Mark Silvestri, and
right,
a little bit of, and everybody during that time, Art Adams is probably the worst and best example of the 90s.
Why?
So he influenced a ton of people, and the same people are the same people who said, well, fuck a deadline. And Art Adams never met a deadline he couldn't not hit.
He could not hit.
I mean, but have you seen his work is pretty intricate. You know, the amount of detail that he
Long Shot Classic X-Men #1 still has one of the best X-Men covers.
Yes. Oh yeah. And you know who's another artist that his work is phenomenal is Travis Charest, or I don't know how you pronounce
that. Travis Charest is one of my favorite artists. Any cover he does, his stuff on Wildstorm and back in the day, his Wildcats run with Alan Moore was phenomenal, and he did all these intricate variant covers. And he's back. He's doing one of the issues for Mark Miller's The Ambassadors.
Really?
doing the interiors. Frank
That's
Quietly
awesome.
did issue 1.
I heard
Oh.
this book's actually pretty good too.
Yeah, Frank Quietly draws a chin like nobody else. Frank Quietly could be a person who is a little underappreciated.
That is one that is
I feel like he's getting a little forgotten about right now because I feel like a decade ago he was doing a lot of stuff and now it's not so much.
But
Nerd got
All-Star
that short-term
Superman,
memory.
All-Star Superman still probably is his crown jewel in my opinion.
I really like We 3.
Yeah.
I never finished We 3.
I haven't read that.
And it's weird because I usually read everything like that, and that was
like
one
3
like
or something, right?
it's not much, yeah. I know Jen's a huge fan of it, and I just never got back to it.
Fair enough.
I didn't even started it, so.
So you're doing better, yeah.
Yes, Gary, you're the only one in the chat. Apparently, everybody else left.
So Double A said Lee Weeks. He also said Joelle Jones and Clayman.
Clayman is
Clayman's got hardcore followers. Like people who hate Tom King will put up with Tom King for Clayman.
I agree. I totally
Joelle
agree.
Jones is just underrated. Like she's a champ.
I loved his work on Ninjak, of all things, though. Clayman.
When was he doing Ninja?
What?
When they had the reboot, when
like the last one,
Valiant came back. Yeah, it was the first time they came back. Like he was the artist on Ninja K or Ninjak or whatever the fuck they're calling it.
Ninjak.
It was awesome.
All right.
Very good, and that's my first introduction to Clayman.
What? My first introduction to Clayman was when he did that Gambit series for Marvel a few years ago.
Oh.
I think it was
my first thing. I think was Poison Ivy: The Circle of Life and Death. It was with him and Amy Chu.
Ooh. I think Lee Weeks also did a Gambit miniseries too, like years and years ago.
The first miniseries was done by Lee Weeks. That was my introduction to Lee Weeks too.
Love that man.
And then the second Gambit miniseries was done by Klaus Johnson, if I'm not mistaken. He was the one who was doing that second miniseries.
I love Tom King.
I used to like Tom King's writing, but at some point I felt like it just got repetitive. It was more of the same. And I think that the last thing that I read from him was Strange Adventures.
He's a good 12-issue guy.
He makes stuff so that they go together. So he has these themes that interlock, like Sheriff of Babylon, Vision, and Mr. Miracle all tied together, even though we're not supposed to know that because it's different publishers. But he does a lot of stuff that are like interlocking and connected. So
I have to check that. I did not know that. I mean, I read Mr. Miracle. I loved it. I loved the Visions series was great. Strange Adventures, I thought it was.
Strange Adventures is my least favorite Tom King thing.
The Batman Catwoman thing. I love the daughter Helena more than anything else in that series.
I just grabbed the last hardcovers for that, so I can re-binge all of my Batman Tom King stuff. I'm very excited to do now that I'm in like my little.
But Human Target's probably my third favorite series by him right now.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
So I'm assuming Mr. Miracle is one of them. What's the other one? Vision.
Yeah.
I feel like Human Target's gonna be like my favorite.
Human Target. So I think Vision's my favorite just because of the heartbreak.
Yeah.
And it's a character you never really dive into that deep, and I think that's where he's strongest is characters that are kind of forgotten or you haven't done these like deep dives into.
Yes, that's why Omega Man was so good because you had no expectations for this character. Same with Visions. You
Man, I don't know if people have read Omega Man.
Yeah, you don't have that much expectation on these characters, and let's see what you can bring, and then he gives you something really, really, really good. You know, Mr. Miracle. It's something that, people love Mr. Miracle, don't get me wrong, but we don't get that much Mr. Miracle. It's been a while since we got something Mr. Miracle.
It's a little more unknown for people, yeah.
You know, so he comes in and he and you let him do what he wants to do, and he will give you something really cool. But after, with Batman, for me, was after a certain amount of issues, I felt like I was reading the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, I had the opposite thing where I liked the beginning much less than I liked everything else.
The beginning of it, I hated the Gotham girl in Gotham.
I dropped the series at first. To be fair, I didn't have money, so I couldn't keep up with stuff. But like now I went back and I was like, oh, now I love this run. It just took a while to warm up for me.
So Philip Kennedy Johnson has become probably one of my favorite writers lately.
Yes.
John got to meet him at MegaCon. I was kind of mad, so he signed all his Last God stuff.
I met him at New York Comic Con. Obsessed with this man. He made me love Superman.
Yes, he made me like Superman again, which it had been quite a while since Greg Rucka wrote Superman that I've liked Superman. And Greg Rucka, spoilers, one of my favorite writers.
Wow, I'm so surprised.
I haven't read any Superman since the beginning of the Brian Michael Bendis run.
Yeah. And
I got
Bendis, the
disappointed.
writer I like. I don't think that was a character he was a good fit for.
I keep seeing like screenshots of panels from the Batman Universe series that he did, and I really want to read it. It seems really fun. It seems absolutely bonkers.
Huh.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
I'd like it otherwise wouldn't be on my radar, but like on Twitter or whatever, I keep seeing these panels and they're hilarious. And then I always like scroll to go find out what the book is, and every time it's like, okay, so I guess I'm gonna read that one.
What's the name of that one?
Batman Universe. It's literally just called Batman Universe. It's like either one trade or two trades. It's not a lot. I think it like each series is a different, or each issue is a different story. But it didn't sell very well in my store, but the trade always sells out. So I guess that says something about it.
So, an artist that Gambit and I both like, and we've talked about this, and someone we feel is underrated, and I don't know how much you read Hawkman back in the day, but Rags Morales, who did Identity Crisis.
Oh my god.
Identity Crisis was probably his magnum opus of like his greatest work, and I always talk about conveying emotion in panels, and he does such a fantastic job during it, especially the panel with Elongated Man losing his composure and his face is kind of falling apart as he's crying about his wife. It's so good, and then you mix those Michael Turner covers in with it, and it's so just good. And Rags Morales was one of those artists who just didn't get talked about because he was a guy who did Valiant. I think he did Exo Man of War or Turok.
I've actually seen a lot more love for him in the last year or two than I think I ever have prior.
I haven't seen anything new from him in a while.
I just see people like, I think it's people using like their nostalgia bones and going back to stuff. And now people are really
I remember
90s.
But Identity Crisis, so I had just posted a panel from Identity Crisis where Superman walks in, he's like, well, they hung her with this special knot that a Boy Scout would only know. And I was like, it's cool seeing Superman come in and not use his strength and actually know how to do some shit.
Right. It is really cool.
I got 1,000 fucking likes on that post somehow because of just a thing, and people were just kept commenting like, yeah, like Superman actually did something other than punch something. And I was like, shit, Brad Meltzer kind of nailed it on this, that like he hit some really good moments. And Brad Meltzer gets some shit for that series because he fridged Sue Dibney, which at least it had like an arc to it. It wasn't doing it for shock value. Like there was a whole other thing after that it led to. But it still was kind of shitty, but it could have been worse, I guess, is the way I don't know. Like it's hard. It's a series I love, but I get people's complaints, I guess would be the way I say it.
Yeah, I would think about it in general.
Michael Turner had that awesome cover of Wonder Woman where it's you see the glowing of the lasso and it's in shadows.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
You know, I one of the things I like about that book is how different it was, you know, from whatever I was reading at the time and whatever I had read at the time. I felt that it was different. You know, he was giving me something that made me actually sit down and think, you know, it's like who benefit? God damn it. Still to this day when I'm watching other stuff, you know, or reading something else, or in my daily life, it's like, who benefits? I ask that question every time. It's because of that stupid book.
We talked
I
about
love
earlier.
it.
Tula Lote is someone that, yes, you've probably seen her covers, but my first introduction to her was a Gail Simone story in American Vampire Anthology. And then I found her work in, of all things, Supreme the Blue Rose, which was Rob Liefeld's character Supreme, but did this whole alternate take, and Tula doing interiors was so fucking beautiful. And there's always the colors, there's this use of shadows, and I've bought way too much of her art because I have a Wonder Woman Sigley print sitting on my wall right now with a remark from her. I have a Death print.
The softness with the colors versus like the strong line art. I'm obsessed with her. I really like women comic artists who draw sexy women that are still women that I've talked about. Like, she'll draw sex pots, but like they make sense.
Her, Jenny Friesen, and Joelle Jones, probably three of the premier female artists, in my opinion, of they ride that line of you get the strength, but you also get this beauty, and the contrasting art style where Friesen isn't as much like hard lines like
Jen
Tula is.
Bartel in there too, like a very different art style, but she's that same way where
Jen Bartel's art is very bright. Like, it's just kind of like it explodes from the page. Like, it's always so bright. And was it Joelle Jones who did the Wonder Girl, or was that someone else?
Yeah, she created.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Lady Killer, she did amazing interior. Catwoman.
So Lady Killer's crazy because the second series takes place where Gambit and I live.
What book
in
is
Cocoa
this?
Beach. Yeah.
What? Oh, dude, you should read
I'm
Lady
not
Killer.
familiar with this book. What book is this? Lady Killer?
Yeah, the second series, it takes place and even has her like posed in a swimsuit saying, "Welcome to lovely Cocoa Beach, Florida."
Oh my god. I'm going to have to look that up. Oh,
because her husband works for NASA.
That's awesome. All right, so I'm gonna have to look this book. I'm here making notes every time you guys mention a name that I don't recognize. I'm making notes to look it up.
I love the fact you brought up Travis Charest because that was on my list, and Travis Charest is like I've been obsessed with for years.
Me too. I like his sense of movement on his work. Like you same thing with Esther Rivik. It's that you get some movement with that static image, and that's not easy. That's not easy to. Laura Braga, yeah.
Laura Braga's. I like Laura Braga.
Yes. Laura Braga is really cool. I can't find that specific cover, but here's just like a random example of her pages. How she has such very cool layouts, and then she does this very specific like sketchy style. This book is actually really cool because it's an entire women's team. Like. Even the intro is by Chelsea Kane, and then it's Laura Allred doing the colors, Joelle Jones doing the lines and the words.
I love Laura Allred.
Yeah, so it's a whole lady team for Lady Killer. They're putting new stuff on a Substack right now, or something, and they're working on making a show. It keeps on going kind of back and forth, but.
An artist that I know Gambit and I have talked about many times, Steve Dillon.
Mm-hmm.
Who did Preacher, which I mean, of course, it's probably where most people his works people would call kind of crude, but like you have to get used to it because again, like Gambit and I growing up in the '90s, we're watching all these Rob Liefelds, McFarlanes, and it was like, look at all this beautiful art, and then Steve Dillon comes along, doing this Vertigo book, and it's like, why does this have more emotion in every panel than any other book we're reading?
I didn't appreciate his work until very late. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that during that time I did not appreciate because if it wasn't McFarlane, Jim Lee, or Silvestri, or any of those big names that were going on around that time.
But Wizard told us not to like those other people.
Fuck Wizard.
Stephen Bissett, who did the early stuff from Swamp Thing during the Alan Moore run, also underappreciated.
Yeah, that's one of those classic artists that are on like not even in inside the art circles. They are appreciated. They're not mentioned as much. And it's one of
and
those artists that you should be part of the conversation every time we have this type of conversations.
and also like one of those
Yes. Oh my God.
underappreciated books.
Yes. Agree.
Team Blue
Agree.
and Gold.
So like McGuire and Giffen and all of them, like Dematis, like it's so hard to put out a good funny book that's also has action in it, and they towed the line well. Even their Defenders book, which was fucking ridiculous, was
I didn't read
fun.
it.
Where like Hulk got raped by
Oh my God.
Dormammu's sister.
Wow.
Also the guy
Wow.
who did Black Hammer.
That's Lemire?
No, the
No,
artist on it.
I forgot his name.
I'm looking at Caitlin.
I kept thinking Stewart, and I don't think that's right.
I know I should be, but I am so uninterested in Black Hammer. I was at Black Panther. I like Black Panther. I have no interest at all in Black Hammer.
I love Black Hammer just because it's this Justice League takeoff.
Yeah, Steve Ditko. Yeah, it's one of
People
those
hate
artists that I
Ditko for
appreciated.
political reasons now.
It's one of those artists that I started appreciating after I was older.
J.H. Williams III, I love just because of the way he breaks
Yeah.
panels constantly.
Ooh, not breaking panels, but just interesting panel work is definitely Steven Sejic.
Oh yes,
So creative and so fun. Oh my goodness.
I just remember Jen going.
So
I
was
went into. She was like, I went into Stefan Sejic's. Oh God, what was the S&M book that he was doing?
Sunstone.
Yeah. So she's like, I figured it was just gonna be some dude's scissor fantasy, and she was like, it was actually good.
Oh, I love him. He also can't draw an unattractive person. But the other, actually breaking panels, Bruno Redondo, especially on his more recent work, like Nightwing and stuff. Really fun.
John
Specifically that color.
Cassidy is another one.
Very cool.
Cassidy,
John Cassidy,
artist, yeah.
like after Astonishing X-Men kind of just disappeared.
Right? I was gonna ask if has he done anything recently?
Not that I've noticed
anything from him in a while.
Planetary still to this day is my favorite book by him and always will be.
I have to read that.
I like Raphael Albuquerque. I just there's something about his style I like.
It's beautiful, beautiful work. It was really cool when I met him too.
Do you like Jock?
Yes.
Yes.
I know people who really hate his work.
Really?
Really?
Because it's so muddy.
Well, they're wrong.
Art is subjective, but you're wrong.
right.
So Lee Bermejo is someone like I adore his work because of how detailed everything is.
Yes. Same.
Specifically his stuff in the last few years is absolutely unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, even though the Batwang just broke the internet.
That's because other people are stupid.
Yes.
That's because people are stupid. I totally agree.
Someone also said Chris Bocello. I feel like you would agree with that one.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God, yes.
So I have his cover from X-Men #4 with Magic with the giant sword, Gambit tattooed on my thigh.
Hell yeah. Yo, Chris Bocello's work on Doctor Strange with Jason Aaron.
I like that. I really like it.
Oh my God, yes. Jason Aaron is one of my favorite writers, and I love that book. The only reason because I don't Doctor Strange is not a character that I'm interested in, so I would never have bought a Doctor Strange book. The only reason I got those was because of Jason Aaron and Chris Bacalo together. Another artist that I really like it's Humberto Ramos that I feel like doesn't get as much as he should have.
We had an Humberto Ramos talk last issue.
Yeah. I think he's doing some work when the cliffhanger thing came out with it was Battle Chasers and Danger Girl and Crimson. everybody was like, "Oh, Mother Chasers, oh my God, Joe Madureira, oh, Danger Girl, oh my God, Jacob Campbell, oh, okay, Humberto Ramos doing Crimson," and it was the one consistent book of all those three. Was the one book that was published consistently all the way to
Just
the
like
end.
when Image came out, Eric Larson's Dragon was the only one that came out besides Spawn month by
The one
month.
that, yeah, right. It's incredible. He was just quietly doing his thing, and he did his thing, and he did a solid book. That Crimson book was solid, and it starts and it ends, and it's a good story, and that's it.
Someone actually said an artist I'm not familiar with, at least not off the top of my head. Fake Man's Comics. Oh, sorry. The last person was G.M. Bryce, GMABRYC. If you want to check the Instagram. But the other person, Fake Man's _comics, said Scott Wegener. Wegener. I don't know. So yeah, I guess they are pretty underrated.
Let me see.
Scott
Wegener?
and Wegener. They might have misspelled something. Maybe that's why I'm not thinking of it. But
let me see if I
while you guys are looking at that one, Griff said, "I feel like Gary Frank doesn't get talked about much. Check out his Doomsday Clock work."
Oh yes,
he doesn't. He doesn't like. I think his thing
Jeff
is
John boy.
So he gets so detailed, his shit takes forever. Like Doomsday Clock took fucking forever.
This
like,
dude,
painfully forever.
Scott Wagner is actually pretty cool. I like it.
Atomic Robo, Punisher War Journal, The Human Torch.
Okay, I think I know who we're talking about. Interesting.
Yeah, he's done quite a bit, but like again, it's Atomic Robo is like super under the radar.
Yeah, I've never heard of that until now.
And then I have a list of stuff that I was talking about, but my last response that I got was Fire Guy Ryan. And he said, so many you've introduced me to: Ward, Christian Ward, Lotte, Lozano, little hit or miss, but the things that he does is so creative that even when it's a miss, I think it's cool. Mike Choi. So he gave me a list, but
I'm not a huge Mike Choi fan. Like of his stuff, most of his stuff has been covers that I've liked for the most part.
Not really into his stuff. Especially when he hits so hard. I think he's one of those people who he strikes me so much as like a tortured artist. But his range is so vast, and he does so many different things. Like he'll do these like post-it note drawings that are like charcoal, and they just look amazing, and they look like, I know he did the Stan Lee pencil work, and it looks like a photograph, and it's this big. He did that oil Black Cat cover. That's phenomenal. He's done like that early 2000s, more digital looking interior art. I don't know. He's very experimental, and I really like his stuff. He did a Justice League Last Ride Dark Side cover. That was one of my favorite covers that came out last year or the year before. I don't know time. I'm super into him.
You know, artist that I think is underappreciated. His name is Jeff DeCal. And
hell yeah!
But he does covers though.
Yeah, but I mean, just making less of an artist.
No, I'm reading that Catwoman run right now, catching up, that he did the covers for. I love Jeff DeCal.
Yes, his work it's so beautiful. I met him at the Puerto Rico Comic Con a few years ago, and he was such a cool dude, and his work is just amazing.
So a name that Jen, if she came on, was probably going to mention Caitlin Yarsky.
That's the person I was thinking of when you're talking about Black Hammer.
Did a book that did Bliss that destroyed Jen and I, and a lot of it was the facial expressions in the art. Like, if you have daddy issues, this is the book to read, because so it's this kid basically going to the trial of his dad, who fucked up his whole family to sell this drug made by gods that made you forget everything that you've done. So his dad did all these horrible things for these gods, selling this drug to make you forget stuff. And the whole story is about his dad on trial and him coming to grips with everything his dad did, which at one point killed his mother.
Oh, wow.
And there's the 4 heaviest panels I've ever seen drawn in comics of him carrying his dad's body basically to the river Styx and setting him afloat and then basically, Sean Lewis, who is the writer, talks about this book is about his relationship with his dad.
What's the name of this book again?
Bliss.
Bliss.
Yes, it's by Sean Lewis and Caitlin Yarsky. Oh, this is the artists I think are terrible. Frank Robb, Don Perlin. Don Heck. So you had a thing against Iron Man artists.
Heck, you must really not like them.
Listen, Spider-Man hurt me most when it was John Romita Jr. doing the art on right before Spider-Man got married in the 80s or early 90s.
Really?
Oh God, Romita's art. Everybody looked like they were ready to go break dance.
Oh, so you're super into ASM right now, then, right?
Oh, am I ever?
Is he doing Amazing Spider-Man right now?
Yeah.
He's been on and off of it. It's fucking just.
He's cheap and
I have an abusive relationship with Spider-Man. Like, it's just.
He's reliable.
Every couple of years, I need to leave.
I'm actually down for him on non-people. Like, on that Superman Year 1 book he did like insects on the background or whatever, and they looked really good, and his like buildings are fine, but then I was just like,
oh yeah, that book with Frank Miller, I was like, why is this okay?
Beaver
I
Dream.
didn't read it. I bought it. I wanted to read it, and then suddenly I didn't want to read it anymore.
Then, I forget who the artist is who did the Golden Child.
Raphael
the Batman, the Dark Knight 3 or 4 or whatever the fuck.
The three, the master race.
No, it was oh god, I forget the artist's name, but he was really good on it. Raphael Grandpa.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom Ashes.
And it was so good.
Yeah.
And it made no sense to me.
That he was so good, right?
Yeah, it really did because, and again, like I just started revisiting a lot of Frank Miller stuff for some streams I was doing, like Ronin, and I was like, "Holy fuck, this is really racist."
Right? That's why I don't want to read it anymore.
Yeah, I like that I haven't read anything in a long time because I used to really enjoy like Year 1 and stuff. And it's like, you know what? I feel like I don't need to go back.
So Year 1 is mild compared to Dark Knight because every time a black person shows up,
really care.
Year 1's still solid. Dark Knight's hard for me to reread now.
Yeah, I think the art's ugly. I have no interest in it whatsoever. There's so many good Batman books. I feel like I don't need to read it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone really likes it, but they like it because they also think it looks really cool. And I don't because I was reading comics back then.
It's one of my favorite all-time Batman books. Had Mignola covers, and it was Peter Milligan writing, and it was called Dark Knight, Dark City, and it's Riddler trying to do a satanic ritual.
Yeah, it's a good book.
It's a 3-issue storyline, and it actually ties all the way back to the Grant Morrison run with the Demon Barbatos.
Hell yeah.
So he went back to this Milligan shit, and he really was true about, I'm going to touch everything everyone hated. And I just absolutely love, and Morrison's run I just liked in general. I mean, he had solid artists, and it was just good.
Yeah, that was it got weird at some point
because it's Grant Morrison. I mean,
yeah.
You go in there knowing that, like.
Yes, it's true. It shouldn't have surprised me at all.
I know I'm circling back a little bit to when we were talking about classic artists, but I did have Marie Severin at the top of my list.
Yeah. I'll also my friend actually at the con got to be, his table was next to one of the first female artists. She did Wonder Woman back in the day. Oh fuck, I can't remember her name now. Give me a minute.
Wow, you must be super sexist, huh?
Wow.
Trina Robbins.
There, bam, he's back. Not sexist anymore.
It took a while. Sorry. Becky Cloonan was the first woman to do interiors for Batman, a main Batman title.
Really? That's disgusting.
Yeah, she's the first one. Devin Grayson was the first woman to ever write it.
Man, I really
And
like that.
Becky is great. I actually have a sketch from her that she did on a little card.
My friend
for me.
has matching tattoos with her and is one of her best friends.
Oh,
Yeah.
She has always been super nice. She would weirdly, because when she was doing Aquaman covers, I was like, God damn it, I have to buy Aquaman now. She's like, I feel so sorry for you. And I was like, you draw beards better than anyone else. She's like, I love a good beard.
Ooh, same. It's gonna show how long I've been into comics, but fuck, what's that
Her
called?
cover of Witches is my favorite still to this day.
Super good. What was that book called? It's not Gotham Central. That's all that's going in my brain right now.
Gotham
What's
Central,
Maps in?
Gotham Central, Gotham
What?
Central.
Maps was in it, like that, like new.
Oh, Gotham Academy.
Gotham Academy. Yes, that was like on my first.
Yes,
book.
with the pedophile. Cameron Stewart. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, because we got that.
Wait, what? Wait.
Yeah.
Who's a pedophile?
One of the co-creators of Gotham Academy got outed during the pandemic for abusing his power with young women at conventions. After he was the one saying when the Raphael Albuquerque Batgirl cover came out with the lipstick and Joker, that it was detrimental to women, and then he's out there doing the other shit.
Doing bullshit.
Yeah. So yeah, I do remember. Who was the Batgirl artist at the time who changed the
Cameron Stewart?
Not Cameron Stewart, the female artist who was on that book at the time. Who?
Babs Tarr.
Babs Tarr. I remember her like. She had a real hard time with it. I remember Becky Cloonan posting like, I can't divorce myself from this book because I put my all into it, but at the same time I have real misgivings about this book. And Jen and I had
Babs-Tarr run on that. I think she fit that like fun version of Batgirl perfectly. Like
Jen and I had talked about it a lot of like, because Warren Ellis had the same thing of like he got outed as not really.
No, that doesn't surprise me.
It was different because it was not sexing girls, but it was just a weird kind of manipulation, I guess would be the best.
Oh, fine.
But it was, so we talked about divorcing yourself from the art and the artiste.
Yeah, it's also on things like this. It's so difficult when like, you know, maybe 4 people poured their heart into this, but one of them turns out to suck. Like, I still like the other 3 people on here, and that's like not like they knew anything, you know?
Yeah, because it's like, I love John Cassidy's art in the book, so should he be punished because of this thing? Or if like you read Transmetropolitan, the artist of Transmetropolitan probably had a fucking, he's not as well known, like, but he's making money because of Warren Ellis's name. And Brian Azzarello, kind of a shitbag.
Good, because I'm not a fan
Really?
of him. I feel like he's bad based on his work.
But I love 100 Bullets.
I don't like how he writes women. And he does it weird in 100 Bullets, too.
So he does a pulp thing that is sexist. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But Eduardo Riso, should I punish him because of... And Eduardo Riso, like, I really like his work. Like, he's got a definitive style. Like Tim Sale.
Yeah.
Where it's just, you look at it and you're like, oh, that's so-and-so.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Chris Pacciolo, it's like, that's Chris Pacciolo. So it's one of those things that's very hard. And Tim Sale's another person, like, he gets his due, but at the same time, like, I can't tell if he's underrated or overrated because
He doesn't anymore.
Well,
I love it.
When I saw Jeff Loeb
George
at
Jones,
it was really sweet seeing he was selling prints and he was like, all the sales go to his family. Yeah.
So the one thing, back to George Perez, like his stuff always went to the Hero Foundation to benefit artists who are struggling. So anything he made during the convention for the sketches always went to the Hero Fund.
Yeah.
Is Dan Jurgens underrated or overrated, or is he just kind of there?
He just rated.
I think he's just there. And I think that
I think he's
and then-
important and he's known, you know.
yes, I think he did he did. I think his Superman it's one of those designs that, you know, for me that's how I see Superman in my head, you know? Like
I think he's kind of like how Neil Adams was before he passed, of just like they're known and revered for the things that they did in the past because they were like, you know,
and they never moved past it.
yeah.
But then like later on they were kind of like, all right, cool, we still adore you for this, but like, we don't really need this anymore.
Yeah,
but Dan Jurgens is, I think, a step above that, like, because like Neil Adams, I didn't like any of his stuff towards the end. But Dan Jurgens, I think at least like he's still got it, so to say, but you know.
But Walt Simonson, like for me, is one of like the '80s rock stars to me because his Thor run was one of the
'80s rock star.
And the fact that like him and John Byrne hated each other, like made it that much better. And like
I'm learning so much stuff right now.
So John Byrne hated anybody who was successful.
Oh, okay.
Amber, go check out Destroyer Duck.
Oh my God, yeah.
The what?
Destroyer Duck.
Yeah, learn about that one. You don't need to read the book. Just like go look up like, I don't know, Wikipedia on it.
Yeah. I'm gonna definitely look at that.
Just anything that had to do with that creator, who randomly ended up working on Batman the Animated Series for a couple of episodes.
Really?
Watch Batman Animated Series right now.
Paul Dini was a huge fan of him, and then Evan Dorkin from Milk and Cheese wrote a bunch of episodes of Batman the Animated Series.
Destroyer Duck. This is really
Evan Dorkin of Beast and Burden fame. This is also an artist, Jill Thompson, but I love Beast and Burden.
Oh, Carlito. Where the fuck have you been, bro?
Hey, Carlito. I won't shame you like Dan did. Just hello, how's your night going?
Oh no, John shamed him. I'm just here.
Of course. Blame your audience, of course.
John's not an audience.
I did have one more classic artist on here as well, which is
Barry Windsor Smith. No.
We already spoke about him. Nick Cardy is someone who I absolutely love. I'll grab yes, because he did them. I adore Nick Cardy. Huge favorite. I thought about putting bigger names on here because, like, I adore Steve Ditko, but, like, that's pretty much as big as you can go in older stuff, you know. But Nick Cardy, I feel like not as many people know him, and I adore him.
Weirdly, they went with it, and I kind of disagree with it, Dick Giordano. But he did, like, the Flash reboot. Like, the Barry Allen Flash. Like, he did major shit with it.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't really hit that one.
I feel like I know his work more than I like his work, so I think that makes it not.
Yeah, like
Carmen Infantino and Gil Kane are like other ones that come to mind of like ones I really like that you only really know if you like old stuff.
Yeah, and Gil Kane like did a shitload of like older stuff.
Oh, Dan DeCarlo.
Oh yeah. Bart Sears is someone I really like, but I don't think is huge.
I agree.
Last part.
His work is really good. His work in the path for CrossGen was solid, and it was different to everything that he had done before. It was more graphic. Still had the same amount of detail and crazy anatomy that he's known for, but it was a little bit more graphic, less. I don't know how to explain it, but it was really good. Was a good artist for that book, and I'm sad that it never got to, we never got to see an end. Just got like 24 issues, and that was it.
And then Hawkworld was one of my favorite runs during the 80s by Tim Truman, and it was perfectly painted, beautiful restarting of the Hawkman series, and again kind of slept on.
Very slept on. I only see them in dollar bins, if that.
It's a great story.
Really?
Like for prestige format, it's great. Like I honestly really super enjoy it. Another artist I really liked, Larry Stroman. He did a lot of stuff for Milestone when they first came up.
I was gonna say I can think
and
of
then he did the X Factor reboot with Havoc leading the team with Wolfsbane and Polaris during
Yes.
the 90s, where
Yes.
he had a very loopy, loose style that was
Yes.
totally out of character for that time.
I've recently been really getting into Bill Woogan, I think that's how you pronounce it, art. It's like that like 50s stuff, did a lot of like Katie Keene stuff and all that. And, like, really into it. It's like the more of the good girl kind of 50s art. Where I feel like 50s book, I either like really do not like a cover or I'm super into them, so getting really into
Gil Kane or Ramita Sr. was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ramita Sr., one of my favorite artists, but I felt like he wasn't underrated. I was also going to say like Mitch Gerrards, but I felt like he wasn't underrated. People go out and buy things just for him.
No, I mean, Smallwood probably, outside of Moon Knight, would be the guy who's probably like underrated, but now getting
Yeah,
more
he's
attention.
now finally getting what I think he deserves. Ooh, Robert Hack. I didn't have him on my list, but I adore Robert Hack.
I like his covers more than his interiors.
He's just, I feel like he's like underpaid, underrated, like no one knows him. I don't know. But I guess he's working a very specific niche. I do
Ricardo
have
Federici.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Interior specifically, oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah.
I only have 3% battery, so I'm gonna go through a few of these really fast. Just
Okay.
so it doesn't lie. Lie? No, it's not gonna. Don't lie to me. Casper Wingard. If you've ever seen like Homesick Pilots, super.
Homestead Pilots was good.
I actually have another little commission from him.
That's
Oh,
pretty
nice.
Yeah, he's super cool. I just read like a comment of his interior is amazing. Chris Sheehan is a huge favorite of mine. Art for Autumnal from Vault.
Oh, yes.
Amazing. They're doing one of the books in the Nightfall double feature book, which is also really fun if you're not checking it out. It's 2 books, and in the middle it's got this really cute like drive-in style intermission. I love it. Vault is killing it right now, but Chris Sheehan is like an artist right now that every time I see them working on a cover or interiors, I immediately like add to cart. They're so good. They're also doing like a book cover that I'm like, will I get the book just because of him? Maybe. Frank. I don't know who
Just to go back to Federici, this is from The Last God.
Ugh.
And that's some of the interiors.
I have
And
to
it's very
read that.
rare that the interior looks as good as the cover.
Yeah. I mean, his work on Action Comics was insane.
Yes.
With him and Kenny Johnson, like.
So also the hardcover on Amazon is actually cheaper than the soft cover.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know.
Oh no.
I have Mike Del Mundo on here. I feel like he is insanely creative. I feel like he just does such fun things. So like maybe they don't always hit, but I always really like kind of what he's doing and like.
So
It always
his
kinda gives me
covers for Hawkeye were really good.
I don't know if
He did some of the alternate covers later on in that series for the Zidart, not Zidart, for the Fraction run.
I don't remember that at all.
He had a couple of covers for it. It was like later on in the series, not the initial like first trade,
Mm-hmm.
but later on.
Yeah, he did. I guess it's more of his recent stuff that I'm really into, though, where it's really like he has this Mystique cover where she's just photocopying herself, and all of them are different ones. And New Mutants says braces or something. He does this amazing zombified Ghost Rider cover. Like his stuff is like, super creative. Really into it. Very like watercolory feel too. Jordi Belair is Where's our colors? Their colors don't get enough love. My colors make or break a book for me.
So there was a manga letterer who just posted that she was leaving the field the other day. I follow a manga reporter on Twitter, and she reposted $4 a page they're being paid.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
And they said the highest that she was ever paid was $7 a page.
What?
That's the highest for manga, which, I mean, manga, depending on if it's one of the big serialized.
Yeah, it's weekly usually.
Yeah.
So at least it's like, that's still.
Damn, $4 a page.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost not worth. So she's like, I'm leaving the field, and she posted all of what she made off her page. It's. Listen, like, you might love comics, it might never love you back.
Japan?
No, it's an American translating, doing the lettering for
Because in
America.
Japan, living there costs less. Like,
Yeah, but still, $4 a page. I don't.
So we, on one of the last episodes, we talked about My Hero Academia sold, I forget how many billion of the trades, but they don't get royalties lettering.
that's so sad. Oh my god.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to live?
So
You're not supposed to.
So the highest page rate I ever made lettering manga was $17 a page. The lowest was $4 a page, which was more common. Others have mentioned this, but the industry average was hovering around $5 a page. That was one of my primary reasons for quitting.
Well, I can see their point of view.
Yes.
Yeah, no, most American comic creators like can't just have a full-time job of creating comics because if you do, it's because your significant other did something else and like.
But I've also noticed the importance of lettering because Shen and Mare put out that whatever Siren book. The lettering is fucking horrendous, and I think Shen and Mare is doing the lettering himself. It is so bad. It's distracting. It's so bad.
It's one of those things that I feel like you don't notice as much until it's bad.
I agree. So some things that I think we forget. Books are not done by and everything needs to fit together. So the lettering is as much as important a part of that page as it is the inker, as it is the penciler, and whoever wrote the words for that page. I feel like
colorist I've seen be important because we've talked many times about contrast where like Tim Sale, when things get dark, all of a sudden everything becomes red. There's certain things, and it's fascinating, like more and more, like the more deep diving we do of like, hey, why does this work so well on this page?
Yeah.
No, Ryan always makes fun of me because I'm super into colorists, and I'm always like, oh my god, and I do have like favorite letterers. But I'll be like, oh my god, I'm so excited for this person. And he's just like, what is wrong with you? Like, why do you notice these people? And then he reads them and he's like, oh man, you're so right. Like, yes, yeah. Keep telling me I'm right.
There was a letter I was actually I was going to try and get on the show. Espo, he's got a whole lettering thing, but he does a lot of Taylor Esposito.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He's pretty big on Twitter. I thought about trying to get him on the show to talk about it. I tried to get Josh Williamson on, but he's way too big now.
Yeah. I'm happy though, because I've liked him for a long.
Oh no, like I support him. Like he used to send me free comics during Ghosted and Nailbiter because like I talked about it constantly. So he sent me signed comics and be like, so like he's one of the nicest dudes, but he's way too busy now. But one of my prime things was like I was going crazy about Howard Porter's art on Flash when Josh Williamson was on it, and Howard Porter reposted his like, hey, someone likes my garbage art. And honestly, that's the greatest artist response you can get because there's not many artists who will be like, man, this guy loves my great stuff. I've not seen one artist be like super like, yeah, I'm awesome. Well, all right, except for Rob Liefeld.
Yeah.
Because anytime anybody attacks his Captain America, he's always like, you know how many copies that sold, right?
That doesn't mean it was good.
Made him money though, so who cares?
That's why I get so angry because he got to the point where he just doesn't care, and he did so great he did so many good things for the industry. I don't take away.
I will say there's probably not as
industry.
many like any artists that's inspired so many people to draw. So I can't tell you how many dudes I know who have been like, yeah, I used to always draw like Rob Liefeld stuff because I looked at it and they were like, hey, it's something I could draw. But like,
yeah,
there's not other people I hear that from.
Eric Larson, people will be like, I saw Savage Dragon and I thought I could do that. I've literally heard people say that.
I know
you're getting ready to fall asleep.
You see his work, and you go like, yeah, I can do that. That is true. It's he makes it look easy.
But someone who I feel like who is very technically large in the industry, but I feel like you only really know it if you are someone who actively reads new issues, Fiona Staples be killing it. And someone who doesn't read indies is like never going to hear of her because, yeah, she's done a few other things, but nothing as influential as Saga, which is very influential. But her creature designs are like out of this planet.
Yeah.
Literally. There was God, there was another female artist back in the day, and I can't remember her name now.
Because you're sexist, Dan.
Again.
That's not very full handsome of you.
She did this image book that was about like space volleyball that was actually fascinating, and I
do not remember.
She's been out of the game for a while because she actually did labor stuff and was like just raising a child in the meantime.
Yeah, because women shouldn't be working in comics and should just be with children. I know how you feel. It's fine.
Oh wow, escalated like this. This went from a nice conversation to bam, you're dead.
No, it's like this all the time. Like
he keeps inviting me back. I don't know.
I mean, we just keep gravitating back to one another. It's like, hey, remember that time? I remember. Yeah.
Remember?
You remember when we battled Hoth and we tripped that. Ooh, fuck, that's a name. Master Kung Fu.
That's not someone I've delved into their art well enough to be able to.
So it's hyperkinetic.
I've seen very few images, and it's only for someone else at my shop who likes them.
The bearded one is here.
Hi, bearded. We definitely weren't talking about you.
Just doing Gotham Central. That's what we were talking about.
We might have.
I'll be watching you later.
Really?
Not creepy at all.
No, it's a little true. That's okay. You got to keep it creepy.
I remember these artists. Yes.
Actually, Michael Lark. I kind of like his art.
I kind of like his art.
No, like he always works with Rucka at this point, but was doing Gotham Central since my brain was just on Gotham Central. Sean Phillips is another artist I think is known, but
underrated because he's pretty much known hand in hand fair with
Brubaker.
But it is amazing. They're a fantastic team up.
But Michael Lark, the book, with Forever Carlisle, God damn it, with all the different families.
All the families.
Yeah, the people and the word bubbles and the art. Yeah.
It's what's that called? A comic.
What's a comic? Yeah, it's a comic.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm just gonna end the stream.
It's gonna be like click goodbye. Not even a goodbye. It's like
this
click.
Isn't the worst it's ever been. Lazarus.
Oh yes.
Thank you, Gore. One person appreciates me. God damn it.
No, let's not get crazy here. I don't know if you appreciate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's that. He's just trying to help the stream.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever works, man. Like,
Whatever works, right? Whatever works at this point.
So I'm not gonna lie, I want to do this mainly as an excuse to show off the sweet sketches in my commission sketchbook, but I have a few
Go ahead, please.
artists I really like. The artist who does Nice House on the Lake, Olvero.
Oh, nice.
His Nice House on the Lake interiors are some of my favorite interiors of all time. Go read Nice House on the Lake. I already showed you Lee Weeks, but I'll show him again because he's my favorite guy in the whole world. Nathan Gooden, who did The Rush from Vault Studios. I believe he also does Barbaric, but don't quote me on that. But The Rush is one of my favorite recent stories. Definitely check it out. It's like a Western horror set during like the Gold Rush. Very cool. We already showed off Mr. Casper. John Pearson for Mindset. Mindset was also like one of the best books I've read recently. Him and Zach Kaplan. Like I'm saying, Vault is killing it. Matteo Scalera. I feel like this isn't very indicative of his work, but he just whipped this
Mr. Black
out, like,
Science.
Yep. Oh yes. You know, I was thinking about him today and I forgot his name. Oh my god.
I really love his work in this, actually.
Yes.
I love this book like a lot. And actually the writer, Katana, she drew this awful hyena for me, and I sat and talked to
Sean
her.
Gordon Murphy's wife?
How dare you? But I think that's why like I got to sit and talk to her for so long, because I was like, hey, just completely ignored Sean Murphy, and I was like, hey, I love this. I just spoke to her, and I think that's why I got to chat with Johnny Kate and his wife for so long too, because I just went to the woman and I was like, "Yo, you are badass."
So Jen
then
had a
Maria
moment
Wolf.
with Sean Gordon Murphy about science. Like they were doing whale sounds together.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that. I remember that
Yes.
story. Oh, that's pretty cool. Who did that one?
This is Maria Wolf.
Oh.
Oh wait, she does my stickers on my laptop too. This is my laptop. That makes me look like a
Wolf
14-year-old
Maria.
boy. So I have this Shin Godzilla she did.
Oh,
And then I have this Cthulhu she did, and she just gave to me one day. And I plan on buying some original art from her next time I go to a con with her. I was trying to buy it at the last one, but she kept like not being at the table when I was there. But Maria Wolf, amazing, so sweet, amazing storyteller. So if you get a chance to just chat with her at a con, do it. Like, lovely. And then this is Dustin. I believe you pronounce it Nguyen. It depends on where you're.
Oh yes,
When- yes.
Oh, my
But
God.
Descender.
I have that cover.
Yeah, that's my little sketchbook. That's it.
So
Cool
my
sketchbook.
sketchbook is all magic and Kate Pride, and also one random Scotty Young Rocket Raccoon.
That's pretty cool.
And then on my wall hanging up, I have.
Hey, you should be showing you and not me right now.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, that
I
Rocket
have.
Raccoon Groot. Yeah.
Well, I don't have the book in front of me
Ah,
either.
okay.
It's upstairs. But I have a magic with Wither's Soul Sword and Shadowcat with Lockheed that Mike Perkins did. And then I've got a Mike
Mike Perkins is
McCone.
very underrated.
I've got a Mike McCone Shadowcat. Oh, not Shadowcat. Magic with her soul armor and sword that he did at MegaCon a couple years ago. And I have Todd Knock did a Kitty Pryde with the ponytail from Astonishing X-Men era. And I've got a couple of other ones I got done by just random artists. And then I've got Huntress done by my friend. I've got Wonder Girl. I've got Wonder Girl by Mr. George Perez.
I have a logo by George Perez.
Sean Gordon Murphy is on my list of people I want to get something from because he draws trash like no tomorrow. Like
Ooh.
every wasteland you can have, he draws better than anyone else. The Wake in particular was one of those books.
That
Like
was a really good book.
a desolate wasteland and beauty.
I like The Wake a lot.
I want to say David Aja.
Yes.
He's definitely underrated because he didn't get paid or credited for the Hawkeye intro, and that was
Ooh.
just his like.
Yeah.
Terrible.
That would be like if Robert Hack wasn't noted at all for the Sabrina one. Like what?
Yeah.
Oh,
Disgusting.
another person I like, Mike S. Henderson from
That's-
Nailbiter. He
From what?
He just
Oh yeah.
can draw like a mood better than most. Like, and it's kind of the damn, what's that series called? Twin Peaks.
I love Twin Peaks.
He's able to catch a little bit of that vibe in here.
Twin Peaks
And there
is
was-
fun, though.
When we did the book, in particular, the first volume, there's a scene where the lights keep going out and the killer keeps getting closer. And I think it's one of the best pages, panel by panel, that I've seen by an artist of catching the mood and vibe.
What book is that one?
Nailbiter.
Nailbiter, yes.
We were talking about good layouts earlier, and we didn't mention Andrea Sorrentino, who does fantastic layouts. Like they're out of this world.
I
Oh, that's my phrase,
fucking
though.
hate one book by him.
I thought you were just gonna say them. I was like, well, all right.
What was that?
I thought you were just gonna say that you hated Sorrentino. I was like, all right, never mind. But,
What
is this? Like that's so cool. I just flipped to a random
I
page.
hate that Lemire book with him.
That's so many books.
It's oh god.
Gideon Falls?
Yes.
I'm also not into that one. But it's not because the art, the layouts on that are the best part of that book.
So just a little bit on Mike Henderson.
Oof.
I like this death dealer dude here.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool.
Does he do the coloring too?
No, weirdly, the guy who did the coloring Gazowski, I contacted him before Gambit did my nail biter tattoo, and he gave me the color wheel so I can get the hair right.
Sick.
Yeah, it was really cool about it.
It's always interesting, like when people are cool about shit like that.
Oh, Margaret Bennett has a fun style, and she doesn't get any love at all.
Okay. I know we're getting pretty late now. It's been a while.
It's your fault for picking a topic that most people could talk about for many hours on end.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me.
Oh God, no, not the.
Yeah, that one song.
That band.
Bare Naked Ladies.
That song,
Bare
that
Naked
band,
Ladies.
the music.
Yeah, the song from that band.
The guys with the dudes and the person.
instrument.
They talk about Sailor Moon in it.
They do?
Yeah, they do.
I don't know the lyrics to that song. The only thing I know from that song is that it's been 1 week since you look at me. That's it. and it's just enough to annoy the shit out of people. So
it's just catchy enough. Yeah, because in the morning I have to go get my neck cracked again because I have a herniated disc in my neck.
Oh,
that sounds like that part will be nice though.
Love that for you.
I mean, considering I found out last week that I am tumor free now.
Hell yeah!
I'll take it.
So see, every stream we do have a reason to celebrate.
There you go.
But we're celebrating Gambit getting his books being put out.
No, we're celebrating you not having tumors.
Spotlight. That's really rude.
No, I'm giving him the spotlight back.
Oh my God! Wow.
And you moved, so that's like another spotlight.
You guys realize I'm here, right? I'm still here, right? I can hear you.
I can make fun of you too if you want.
To be honest, it used to be worse when Jen was on the show.
I'm good. I'm not good about taking fun. We made fun of.
We don't have fun here.
I'm a sore loser.
Yeah, then pipe down over there, Pon.
Oh. So like
everyone invited to your stream, so I make fun of you the whole time.
So the last episode we had this guy who used to be on I Freaking Love Comics on Judah, who has like this whole Super Spy Space Kickstarter coming out comic that I think got funded.
Oh, sweet. Send me that.
But we were like talking about all this random horrible shit, and someone's like, "Hey, isn't Judah here to talk about his comics?" Like, "Hey, so about your comic you got coming out." And Tessa's like, "That is the worst segue you could ever have done." I was like, "So we were talking about fucking kaiju, and now we're on to this." So
yeah, let's relate his comic to this. I'm sure you'll love that.
At least he was playful about it. Like,
no, he was fantastic, actually.
Yeah, I'm happy that like everything went well for him because honestly, the show probably didn't help him at all.
Didn't help at all.
It got me to check out his stuff, so it's at least one.
Yeah. Like during the whole pandemic, like me, him, Jen, and their channel all kind of were like, "Hey, we all suck and are alone, so let's talk to each other."
That's
Jen's like,
Instagram.
Jen's like, "Hey, there's riots going on outside my window right now."
Fuck yeah!
Like, I'm still jealous that she got to go to metal shows last night.
Right?
There's nothing in Orlando. There's nothing in this fucking hellhole of Florida.
I'll be in Orlando in like 4 days or something.
Oh yeah?
Really?
My dad wants to go down for a 1-day trip. I live in Pennsylvania, for anyone who doesn't know that. So we're flying down to the other side of the country. We're going to ride Tron, and then we're going to come back.
Is your dad a huge Tron fan?
No, he just likes roller coasters, and he keeps scheduling Disney trips when Tron's supposed to be open, and then it keeps getting pushed back, and he's like, "I just want to ride this stupid coaster," because apparently it's very good. Couldn't care less about Tron. I don't think he's ever seen any Tron movie like all the way through.
So maybe there's like the next time there's like a con and you're coming down and like John's there, we could all just like get along. Maybe Ryan will be pushing his comic book if it's still going. Hopefully it will be.
Oh, I definitely want to do MegaCon next year, so.
Yeah, usually Gambit's there every year. I was like, "Hey, go say hi to John." He's like, "Oh, it's too expensive this year."
I wasn't at MegaCon this year. Maybe next year, but I just feel like it's too much for a table and very little space, you know, and they just cram the artists there and just I don't know if I'm gonna do that one again. I think I'm gonna start doing more smaller shows.
Cons are expensive in general, even the local
Because
me, like tables cost way more.
yeah. It's starting to get, starting
I'd
to
rather
wait.
go to North Carolina to Heroes Con than anything else because at
Yeah.
least that's like a pure comic show.
I haven't been to that one yet.
I'm trying to go to SummerCon in Washington, and that's supposed to just be like a comic show, comic guest, like just comics.
I'm supposed to at some point. Like I keep talking to Jen about going out to Portland and visiting, and maybe going to Rose City Comic Con.
Ooh.
And I'm sure like her and I'll meet and be like, "Hey, we're both awkward. Hi, how are you doing? Here's an edible. See if we
Nice to
converse
meet
better."
you, fellow human.
Yes, hi, fellow human.
No, I'm sure it'll be like super hyperkinetic and like burn ourselves out and be like,
half
"Cool,
an
I'm gonna
hour,
go
half
this
an hour
way."
in, like.
Or if I eat edible, I'll just be on the ground and be like, "You guys have fun. This stuff's cool. I'm just gonna have some iced tea and some orange juice. And just my
At the
sippy
same
cup.
time.
My sippy cup."
My sippy cup.
Yes, I am a big like Arnold Palmer person, so I'm all about the half and half.
Half and half with orange juice?
Well, no, but just
Okay.
iced tea and lemonade. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I had the
Fucking
Starbucks in
orange
my
juice.
store, I concocted my own with the perfect sugar pumps in it. Because
The perfect
apparently
drink.
there's a lot of sugar. Yeah. Like I had a lot of time to experiment. Being management at Barnes and Noble, you had a lot of time to.
A lot of experimentation going on there, huh? Interesting.
Yeah. Well, you date your cafe manager. You
Data cafe? Wow. That's
Yeah.
very open-minded of you.
manager.
Right. Yeah.
I got some scones. I knew when they were freshly baked.
Wow, you were getting baked at work? Oh my goodness, Dan.
Wow,
Oh yes.
that's amazing. I want to get baked at work.
And then Gambit would come in and be like, "Here, I got this little Aquaman keychain thing here."
Oh
So-
my god.
This has been a 2 hours-ish almost show.
2 hours. Yeah, 2
hours?
Oh,
hours.
no, it's been 2 hours. We've had a lot to talk about, so like it's weird because I came up with this subject like 3 days ago, and I was like, "Hey, maybe
All
this."
about though. Give me artists.
Yeah, we have to do it again.
We can do a part 2. We can do part 7.
Yes, definitely. Wow, yes, I'm down.
So impromptu Saturday night at 9:00, or 9:30ish. John and Bearded and I will be talking about Gotham Central, the Brubaker ruck of goodness of it all, and my love of Renee Montoya,
Draw for your book.
platonically.
Have to read that.
But probably one of my favorite Batman books.
Gambit, you're a loser.
I
Does it
know mine
focus on
is storage. Okay.
This is a great book. You should read it if you haven't.
Yes, I haven't read it yet.
When I freaked out and had a nervous breakdown, I sent all my copies to the Comic Queen. So I gave half of my trades away to Gambit, and I gave the other half away to Nat.
Do you buy your friendships?
Oh my god.
Have a good night, guys.
Wow.
No, I like legit had a nervous breakdown, like to the point where Gambit had to come over almost every other day to check on me and make sure I was okay. But yeah, I was just like, "Here you go," and then like
Thank you for dealing with me.
I spent like $50 in shipping to send my other half to Nat.
Yeah, I imagine that was a big hassle.
It was a very heavy box. Like, and she was like, "You didn't pay enough. I had to pay a couple of dollars. The difference."
Oh wow.
I've only had that happen before.
So then I felt fucking horrible. I was like, "I suck at everything. Sorry."
Yeah, they just made it worse.
Like,
Meanwhile, I'm sure she paid like $8 for like $800 worth of trade, so it's probably fine. 3? Yeah, you're fine. She
Yeah,
paid the price of a
fucking
single
horrible.
comic for everything.
I even sent her my 10.0 Bill Sienkiewicz Moon Knight lenticular cover.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, I was not in a good place.
No
for
more
a
breakdowns for
long
you, okay?
while.
No, yeah, that's exactly what I said. No more breakdowns for you.
No more. You've had enough. You had a time. No more.
So the worst thing ever was on when we were announcing the nail biter episode. I was like talking about how I gave away everything and Gambit tattooed a nail biter thing on my ex, and he's like laughing. He's like, I mean, I'm not laughing. I mean, it's funny, but like, I don't know what to. I'm laughing. I don't know.
I don't know what else to do right now.
And this was right before COVID, like locked down Florida, so it was like a whole fucking mood.
Amazing.
Yeah, there's
Amazing.
a lot of episodes of the old show don't watch.
Yeah, let's just not go back to those, okay? It's fine. It's fine.
There's some weird shit, except for the ones where I made Jen like laugh so hard she spit tea out of her mouth. I came up with a whole different version of The Crow where it was David Carradine going after the rope manufacturer of the company that made the rope that he autoerotic asphyxiated himself with.
Oh my god. That's amazing.
Yeah, there's some dark episodes of the old show.
Yeah, that's too much. I don't remember that one.
There's some interesting times. COVID was fun.
Woo! Everyone is dying.
Oh no, like Jen and I did like one of the worst episode tributes to who was it again? Oh yeah, Jonathan Hickman. We're gonna talk about all the Jonathan Hickman books, and we're like, this is the worst episode ever. We talked about East to West a lot, and that was about it.
All right, guys.
Yeah. So
I have to go.
Oh wait, hold on. We'll do final plug. So what Kickstarters do you have up?
Oh, so yeah, no, they're already funded. It was the No Contest issue number 1 and 2. Actually, I think you can go and look it up, and you can pre-order the second issue now. And Salvation in Stereo, which was it's my debut as a writer too, and I did the art, really cool art of Jesus holding with praying with some headphones on. The Salvation in Stereo, really cool. Yeah. And then the other project was the Collective, Tales from the Collective, an anthology book from one of the local stores here in Florida called The Collective, which I will be on Free Comic Book Day as a guest artist.
That's so cool. All right, so we're bothering on Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah. So that's
awesome. Congrats. Yeah, we're going to check out
Chicacabra 2 will be out at some point, and we'll be talking to Tom Beeland.
Yes, as soon as Chicacabra number 2 comes out, I'll let you know so we can get him on the show.
That's awesome, guys. Check out his stuff.
So Chicacabra, the first edition, was on Amazon recently, back in stock after years.
Nice.
And it was like $13, and it is a large book.
Yeah,
it's over 200 pages.
Oh my god,
it's worth it. Okay. Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's a good book for you.
Yeah. If you like cute and heartbreaking, it's for you.
I love cute and heartbreaking.
All right, the best combination.
I love it. And it's a little female empowerment.
Oh man, yes. As we've this crew does not like females. It's fine.
It's what I hear. Where are you at, Tess?
I am putting out a new video tomorrow. I was gonna put it out today to push it here, but it did not work, so I have it going out tomorrow. And I have a bunch of new stuff going out, so check me out on YouTube under Tessa's a Nerd. I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, Hive, anywhere, whatever. I'm just at Tessa's a Nerd, TikTok. And yeah, I'll be posting a lot of stuff now that I moved into my little nerd haven.
You'll have a weird UPS package showing, or USPS.
Yeah, I mean, check me out tomorrow. Go on live, I guess, with UPS package.
USPS.
USPS. Oh, I'm so sorry. And then Dan, what do you got coming up other than I know you've Gotham Central on Saturday.
Gotham Central. Eventually, Carlito will get his shit together, and we'll do the Guy Ritchie episode of our movie show, because he picked the director and then proceeded
it and didn't watch.
Proceeded to watch none of it.
Mm.
And then you can catch me on Saturday watching Evil Dead Rises, and then coming back and powering through Gotham Central, and you'll catch me with Bearded Comic Bro and John's Comics with Kids, Mr. I got a strike for a Harry Potter audiobook reading.
I will be joining in on that chat. I'm so psyched. That's going to be a good crowd.
So Greg is like, I'm going to see how much I can read in 2 days. And
you can read that book in one night.
I remember, because it's 40 issues.
Yeah, but they're quick.
Yeah, I can read enough of it. Like, I'm excited to read again because...
Just read the first four and the last four.
As John said, like, he hates Batman, but he loves the series because Batman's barely in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that Batman's like this character they hate. The cops fucking hate him. They're like, don't call the fucking freak in. Like,
the last volume gets very like anti-cop too, so
that's very Greg Rucka.
All right, well, it's been a fantastic show getting to make fun of you guys and talk about artists that I love.
Did you really make fun of us?
I'll try harder next time.
More me, but like, you know, Gambit's just an observer casually walking through.
Yeah.
Well, I like him. That one was too harsh. I'm sorry.
Wow. You know, I'm just
I wouldn't be here if I didn't like you. I got asked on too many lines.
No, you're just gonna start getting messages like, "Hey, what are you doing on this show?" Like, I understand why
a very specific type of crowd that wants me to bully them.
I understand why the girl with the shaved head was on here, but
I can do that too.
Oh no! Someone left a comment on one of the videos that Jen and I were so liberal that half our hair fell out.
Love that.
Yeah, like it literally was like Jen was like, "Cool, go fuck yourself, guy." Like there was a point in time where we were addressing the next episode, everybody's fucking comments.
You damn hairless libs.
Like it was just so dumb. Like couldn't hesitate to do it. And
That is one of my favorite jokes to do with my friends when like anything goes wrong, like a peanut butter jar falls, just being like, "Goddamn liberals." It's my version of like, "Thanks, Obama."
Living in Florida, I had this crazy ass fucking woman come into my store the other day wanting plexiglass, and she's like, "You know, the fucking Democrats are bringing Satan to Florida," and I was like,
Yes, I am. Check it out. Twin Temple. I'm dressing every day. I dress as blasphemous as much as I can. I want to look as offensive as possible every time, every day. Yes.
I stopped and asked the lady. I was like, "You do know that both sides are a fucking steaming trash pile right now?" And she's like, "Well, Democrats are Russians, and that Russians are close to Satan." I was like,
"Oh my god."
Yeah. And I was like,
"That's a lot to unpack."
And I was like, "Cool, you have a good night. Like,
have a good day."
I got some cabinets to take down. A couple of them.
I don't get to
like walked
deal with you.
I walked away, and I'm like doing the math, and I'm like, liberals, communists, Satan.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's fine. It's fine.
She invited her.
I was like, I got some possums outside hiding under citrus trees if you want to play with them. Yeah, there's literally possums under there. They hiss.
I see him. I don't get close to him here, but I see him a lot. More so like I see him in the road and then I stop in the middle of the road and wait for them to cross.
I mean, they're not like raccoon trash pandas, but they're close.
I love them. They're very cute and ugly.
My cat's literally still sitting on the dining room table staring at me.
He's waiting for you to end.
I don't know if it's ending or just like, hey man, like I want a snack and I'm not going to come in there.
Yeah. Anyway,
thank you everybody who joined in the chat. Gary, John, Gore, Bearded for the Minute, John's Comics with Kids, Sheena, everybody. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. Your support means the world to us.
Yes.
And by the world, I mean like this tiny little section of the world.
At least it's far away from Russians and the devil or whatever.
We're going to call it Blue Goldistan.
We're not that far away from the devil, but yeah, from the Russians, yes.
And please read more Blue Beetle Booster Gold books, formerly known as Justice League, and the Justice League series.
We can start doing a Blue Beetle Booster Gold fan club and just read those books.
Oh my god, I will fucking read those old Giffen Justice League. Like,
I'll make really cute stickers.
I had to post the One Punch post today. Like, I had to. I had no choice. It's one of the greatest moments. Guy Gardner sucks. I said it.
Wait, I'm gonna take one more divergent of. I have this booster gold. Is it this one? It's not this one. Well, I have 2 booster golds. I have the hardcover because it's only 2 hardcovers, and this one's signed by Dan Jurgens. But whoop, my other one is also sketched, and he put a little Mr. Gold sketch in there.
Aww.
Yeah, Team Booster Gold.
You.
It's the Blue Beetle, but that's okay. Although, like, it angers me that there's a Blue Beetle movie coming out, and like, it's Jaime.
Yeah.
But I mean, cool that there's going to be another Latin hero because I thought for a while White Tiger was going to end up coming back in like the Daredevil series.
That would have been a cool thing to add.
I mean, yeah, but I am happy that Daredevil's coming back and also the Punisher is coming back.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen any of these.
Oh,
I'm
the
about to watch it.
The Daredevil series is actually really fucking good.
I think Ryan's gonna make me watch it someday. He tells me that all the time.
Yeah, you have to.
I'm sure he says a lot of stuff. Has he gotten you to watch The Wire yet?
I saw some of The Wire, but like a decade and a half ago. Yeah.
Wow. It's still one of my favorite series. All right, so yeah, we just keep going and going, and I know how this goes. But again, thank you. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to all of us, and hopefully we'll see some of you for the Gotham Central chat.
Yes.
John's gonna have a lot of feelings on that because he's anti-Batman, and well, Greg and I are kind of Team Bat. But I do love Renee Montoya, and I love the angle of this book. And Greg Rucka writes LGBTQ characters better than anyone, and he must have someone in his family or general vicinity that he knows that he discusses with about these topics, because he writes them from a very, very emotional place. And that's rough. Tessa got the head nod like, I don't know about that. His Batwoman series, so don't. I had to get the nod before I logged off. I'm like, yeah, I kind of agree with that. Okay. Take care, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.